You know what? That was so groovy. I'm welcome to Black Man Unfiltered Network to Talk That Talk Tuesday, but tonight is Unfiltered Ladies Night. That was so groovy. I just the guy that did that, it was me, of course. I don't want to toot my own horn. However, that was so groovy. And while we're waiting for the ladies to show up in the back, I think I want to go through that groove again. Here we go. Oh man, boy! Listen, that was groovy. Listen, thank you guys for being here tonight for Talk That Talk Tuesday. We're talking to our ladies tonight, and so I'm excited about having them. So as you come in, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button as you come in, and I appreciate every body that's in the chat so far and who will be here tonight. I'll be calling you guys out as you come in. We have Tough Topics podcast in the building tonight. She's out there making that bread, making that money. And so she won't be here tonight. However, much love to her. She said, yo, BMU, where do you get this funky, groovy music from? Every show, I be turned up, laugh out loud. Thank you so much, Sugar. Miss Jenny answered the question and said, A magician never doesn't tell his secrets. All right, we got Miss Jenny in the building tonight. We got Lost in Translation in the building tonight supporting. All right, and we got Embrace the Grace. She said, "Good evening, King." I love Embrace. She's always greeting men with that term, and also Take Heed does it as well. And so I appreciate the women out here who, appreciate the fellas. Appreciate the fellas. All right. Embrace, I'm about to do that for you right now. I don't know what happened to that one. However, I'll get you taken care of in a few seconds. It'll be down there. All right, guys. This link is just for Embrace. All right. So if you come up, it's just for Embrace. Anybody else come up, you're going to be at the place. All right. So I want to bring up our panel for tonight, who are women who are we're gonna have a conversation tonight, and I can't wait. I want to start bringing them up one by one, and introducing you guys to the women who are going to be in the building tonight. First, I want to bring up Miss Jenny is in the building tonight. Yes, indeed. I want to bring her up. And also, I want to bring up Callie Bev is in the building tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, indeed. All right. And listen, I haven't seen her in so long. She got married. She had a beautiful wedding. She is amazing. Oh, it's so good to see my little sister tonight. The Blooming Ebony is in the building tonight. Good to see you. All right. All right. Now, we also have in the building tonight a newcomer over here. She supports in the chat, but this is her first time on one of my panels. So thank you so much. Embrace the Grace is in the building tonight. Thank you for being here. All right. And then we have Anissa in the building tonight. Come to rock the boat, because that's what she does. Anissa, thank you so much for being here tonight.
Good evening, everyone.
Good to see you, honey. Good to see you. All right. Now, let's see here. Who else we got? Oh my goodness. Guys, I'm telling you, subscribe to everyone that's on this channel, on this panel tonight that has a podcast. But if y'all have not been watching Take Heed to the Message, put a whooping on people every morning. Every morning, she is a woman who is of discipline, who has lived a life, and she's using her life experiences to help everybody else live a better life. And so I want to give it up to Take Heed to the Doggone Message. It's in the building tonight. What's going on? That's a superstar now. If y'all don't have an autograph, get it tonight, because after a year or so, you won't be able to. Security won't even let you walk up to her. All right. So thank you guys for being here tonight. I want to check the temperature of the room tonight. I'll start with Miss Jenny. I want to see how everybody's doing. How was your day? Before we get started. So Miss Jenny, how was your day? And then we'll go around the room. Go ahead.
All right. Am I coming in clear for everybody?
Yes.
Okay. So my day has been well. My weeks lately have been busy, but thankfully this week has been a lot slower. Coming up to Christmas, I've been able to get a lot of stuff done. I've been doing a lot of baking today. So I've just been having a good day of being a housewife.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And check out Miss Jenny. Every last Saturday of the month, she's right here on Black Men Unfiltered Network, Candid Conversations with a Housewife. So make sure you guys come and check her out as well. Thank you again, Miss Jenny. Callie Bev, what's going on? How are you today?
I'm doing pretty good. Getting back into the swing of things at work. Just got out of a 7-week training class, trying to, learn new skills and everything. So
Right.
that's been interesting and tough and challenging, but it's over now. Just got done relaxing with the kiddos and with Hubbins, listening to some hip hop, just chilling out.
All right. All right. Little sis, Blooming Ebony, what is up, girl? Oh, newlywed over there. What's going on, girl?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you well.
Awesome. A lot's been going on. I'm barefoot and pregnant. And it's
Congratulations.
Thank you. So I've been out of breath all day, but it's been a good day.
Absolutely. Well, I'm glad you're here. And tell your husband, we thank him for allowing his barefoot pregnant wife to grace us with her presence tonight. I appreciate it. All right. Anissa, how are you tonight?
I am doing well. I'm on vacation for have a few days off for Christmas, so I'm excited about that. So I had a very nice, quiet, relaxing day today, and I'm excited to be here this evening.
All right. Thank you. How's Trey?
I think Trey's doing quite well.
I just wanted to make sure if he's watching tonight, Trey. Embrace the Grace. Thank you so much for coming up tonight. I appreciate you for being here. How are you tonight, and how's everything going in your life today?
My day was good, blessed, and it went smooth. I want to thank you again for having me and inviting me. And good evening, ladies. It is a pleasure to meet you guys. And I hope that you guys take the time to check out my channel and see what I have to offer.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Last but not least at all, my sister from another mister. Take heed to the message. How are you tonight, sweetheart?
I'm doing just fine. The family's good. The king is good. He's fed. He's relaxing. I just got finished aggravating him, so we good.
Hey, leave him alone. Let that man eat. All right. So thank you guys for being here. If you guys just came in, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you want to give to the channel, the Cash App is scrolling at the bottom of the screen. If you don't have a Cash App to give, hit that subscribe button, because it's always important to hit that subscribe button and that like button for the content. All right, guys. So I want to start out with the title of the show and where it came from, where did it start? Embraced dysfunction. I see a lot of dysfunction going on in the world today. And I know you ladies, great women here who are married and looking to be married, see the dysfunction that's going on in the world today. And I know a lot of men get on panels and talk about these things, but I think nobody could do it better than a woman who does not share in the delusion of other people and can really honestly say we do have a problem. And so Take Heed to the Message has been, I mean, she has been really on it. Miss Jenny, Blooming Ebony, I know she's barefoot and pregnant, but she is also a person who stands for marriage, family, nuclear family. And so I'm just so proud of you and what you've accomplished with being married and now starting your nuclear family over there. So, but I just, just being around and seeing everything that's going on, I wanted to go over some things with you guys. I got a few videos I want us to react to on some of the things that we're seeing. When I said embrace dysfunction, a lot of popular people, a lot of average people, they just see dysfunction now and it's okay. And I'll give you one before we go into the first video. We go into baby showers now, and the baby shower, everybody's paying for baby showers. Nobody's paying for weddings. And when you go to the baby showers, there's no father present. There's a huge chair sitting in the middle of it, gifts everywhere. And the person that's supposed to be there is not there. The father's not there, and we encourage it. We celebrate it. But I think that we should start speaking up about it. And I think that Take Heed had a great show about that last week. So make sure you check that out. However, I want to get to the first video that we can react to. And I know this is some of y'all's sister. So this is going to be hard to watch y'all sister. But I have a video of your sister, and I'm going to play it for you. And I want you guys to react to it. Here she is.
Women have been manipulated out of trusting their sixth sense. They have been, and so they've been gaslit. Oh, you crazy? You're over emotional. And so one of the things that women have to learn to do is to trust themselves. And males have to have enough humility to allow themselves to be influenced by the woman. But because men don't have respect for women, they will not allow themselves to be influenced by women to become better men. They just won't allow it. Women have been
Embrace the Grace. You're a guest tonight. I will allow you to go first. What is your first impression on hearing that? Agree, disagree, and why?
I would have to disagree. Due to the fact that if you're with your man, you're supposed to trust the man to lead. And as a result, if you're going to trust him to lead, you got to allow him to lead. Yes, we influence our men, we uplift them, and we encourage them. But at the end of the day, sometimes you got to let them fall so they can see their fallbacks. With men not trusting women, let's go back to the old faith, who are raising these men. I mean, we want to really get to the root of the problem. Who are raising these men that are not respecting women? So it just goes. There's a lot of layers to this. This is really loaded. But I think that it does start with the man and then the woman believing in the man. Do men listen to us sometimes? Do they take heed to us sometimes? Absolutely. But we have to set that trust. We have to set that safe space for them, because they were taught all their lives, women ain't this, don't trust women, they manipulators. So it's like a catch-22.
Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Anissa, what are your thoughts? Agree, disagree, and why?
I won't say that I fully agree, but I could maybe see a point that she was trying to make. I don't agree with most of her points, but I think that, as Embrace was saying earlier, I think some men have into the idea, and men are the leaders, they are the heads, but I also think that a wise man will also listen to his woman. If you've picked the correct woman, she should bring a lot of value to you. She should bring a lot of knowledge and information. So you definitely should be listening to her and definitely taking her into consideration. Although at the end of the day, you are the leader and you make the final decision. But sometimes you have men that, totally want to shut that woman completely out because she's a woman and she's emotional and, all these other things, as if she can't bring value to any and every situation. So I think wise men are able to incorporate that woman into the decision-making process. So.
All right. Thank
But
you
yeah,
for that.
it's a lot of loaded. I agree with Embrace. It can kind of go, much deeper than that. But yeah.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate that. The Blooming Ebony. Agree, disagree, and why?
Well, I agree with the two ladies that went before me. It's kind of hard to say agree or disagree. It's I don't really know what question she was answering necessarily. What makes it difficult is that how broad women and men talk nowadays, with this general respect women, trust women. If you get married, you should trust and respect your wife. And as your wife, she does have influence over you. There's this idea, or I think it's actually in the Bible, it's just scripture where it says you lead by example. So if your husband's not in church, you go to church and then maybe he'll follow. You kind of lead by your actions. But this idea of men should just blanket trust and respect all women, I think that kind of makes this conversation a little bit difficult. I think if you're married, that's your wife. You married her for a reason. You should trust that she has some wisdom, that she has knowledge, and that she wants the best for you. And as long as you have that good faith in your marriage and you guys are moving forward, then yes, I would say she does have influence over you. But it's not necessarily like you're bowing down to her and listening to her. It's more so you see it in her actions, and then you go to her because you've seen her kind of develop into how can I say this? Develop into a wise woman, right? You can go to her for ideas and advice, just to make sure that you're leading your family in the right direction, because she's a part of that as well.
Thank you so much, Blooming. I appreciate that. Callie Bev, what are your thoughts on the new prophet saying these words? Agree, disagree, or and why?
I disagree with the new prophet, but I do agree with her overall point. Um, as what the other lady said before, if you trust in your decision of a wife, then obviously there is some insight and some input that she would have as to what's going on in you all's household. She's a part of it. It's a relationship. It's not necessarily a dictatorship, or what do you call it, an authoritarian regime type deal. I would say the best outcome is to take the insight of both people, although he is the one to go ahead and pull the trigger on it. A person would be wise to, and then it's the saying, 2 eyes are better, 4 eyes are better than 2. that sort of thing. So, just to like, wait, what do you think about this? I think that any point could be taken to the extreme, one way or the other. Believe all women, believe no women, and that including your spouse. And it's like, if you don't necessarily believe anything that women say, then how can you believe and trust in what your woman necessarily says? How do you get to that point where you do trust her, where you do look into, what she says and how she acts to back up what she's saying now? Because that's also a factor too. But if you don't trust any of that, then how do you go into a relationship or a long-term relationship, marriage, however, and have that be successful? I think it creates contention.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Miss Jenny, what are your thoughts?
Oh, okay. So I found it interesting that she was saying that, because I mean, we only heard those few snippets, but I guess what she was trying to say overall is that, women need to, be given more grace because we've been mentally abused by these bad men who are out here who have gaslit us, is what she's saying. And so I just find it so hilarious that, I don't know who this woman is. She seems like the kind of woman that would say that, women are strong and independent. And yet when women make mistakes, by picking these garbage men, it always still seems to fall back on the man as, it's your fault that I picked you. And it's like, well, aren't you responsible for your actions? Aren't you responsible for the guys that you choose to hang around and be with? And so it's just like, no matter what happens, whether it's the woman doing something or it's the man doing something, we somehow, a woman can always spin it to it being, oh, the man did this to me, and I only did this because he gaslit me, he lied to me, he manipulated me, and so even though I willingly chose to be with you, it's still your fault. So I thought that was pretty funny.
Absolutely. Thank you, Miss Jenny. Take heed to the message. After watching The Prophet, what are your thoughts?
So Priscilla the Queenmaker, that's her name. This woman is an imposter. This woman is a disease to Black women. And whatever the question they asked her, she didn't answer the question. She had went hindsight on the other side of the room and came with this broad statement and tried to make it sound like it's good. So anything that she says that come out her mouth is always a lie. But I'm going to say this. When you are dating a woman and at that time you're dating her, you're vetting her. So when you're dating her, you already know her MO. So when you marry her, you already have that understanding. You already have that trust in her that she makes great decisions. So yes, you would take heed to what she would say because when you were dating her, you vetted her so she understands the assignment. But you always want to remember while you were dating her, you want to know that she's going to rock with your plan. You understand? She's going to come on board. So if she was doing that when you were dating her and she gave great advice and she didn't steer the ship wrong and both of y'all are on one accord, then yes, you are going to understand it. You're going to take the advice if she give it, but ultimately it's up to the king to finish it. But anything from her, she will go way left. So I can't rock with her. But I will say this, vetting is the key when you're dating. So that when marriage comes, it is an easy cakewalk. Not an easy cakewalk, but with the understanding that she knows the assignment. That's just my take.
All right. Anybody want to address anything anybody else said on the panel? All right. So I'll give you, I know it's late now. I'm sorry. I just got it. I think that this lady is, I think she's a hurt individual, but everybody knows that. That's nothing new. But I think that she is, she's just a horrible human being at this point. And she's dragging everybody down with her. And she wants, and my grandmother used to have a saying, misery loves company. And I think that she wants to fill her boat of misery up with a whole lot of women who have potential to be great wives and great mothers. And so you have to be careful when you're around those people like that. People, I'm telling you, people get influenced by that and they just turn into something different. So let's just make sure I know you guys don't have that problem. But ladies out there, if you're listening, please, please, please don't become a part of this trash. All right. So I want to move to the second video because I think, Take Heed, you had something on this video. And Just Hilarious had something to say. And Just Hilarious said that women should be lioness and go out and get the man. Just go get him. And I'll let you hear it from her mouth. Here she is.
So, your new boo.
Yeah.
How?
Okay. He owns his own trucking company, and he was actually in town on meetings, and I saw him at a restaurant, and I go after what if I'm attracted to somebody.
You a lioness.
I will let you know. Yeah, I'll let you know I'm attracted to you. Like, you look good. You're attractive. I find you attractive. Let me buy you a drink. Or, do you drink? Shit, why we can't do it?
Jessica.
What?
Miss Moore. Let me tell you something. That right there is fucking impressive. When I'm in fellowship, I usually ask the question to my beautiful queens, right? So, yo, have you ever approached a man? Hell no, I ain't ever approaching them. I'm the catch. They need to be approaching. It don't matter how manly that you may be, men still need help. We don't know if you dating somebody or messing with somebody respectfully. So it will help. It's too much to process as a man. So men need help. So.
My Lord. Before we get into this, I want to welcome my sister. Y'all probably see her pretty face in a minute. This is my brother's wife, Mother, just joined us tonight. So it's good to see her tonight. So what's up, sis-in-law? What's going on, sis?
Hey, everybody. I'm sorry I'm late. I had to work late tonight.
No problem, no problem. So I want to start up at the top with Miss Jenny and go around. Miss Jenny, what are your thoughts on Sister Just Hilarious's comments with Cam Newton?
I don't know what happened, but it didn't play on my end. I couldn't see it.
Oh, okay. Basically, she was saying that she approaches men. She goes after men. If she thinks they're attractive, she hunts them. It's not the other way around. What are your thoughts?
Well, it's funny. I wouldn't be here if women didn't think like that, because my mom proposed to my dad, and so I don't know if I would do that. I didn't propose to my husband, but I think that shows a certain level of masculinity in the woman, to be so forward like that. And so, but I mean, sometimes, I guess we're just living in a day and age where a man might want to, but he might be so afraid of the possible rejection and, the stating that he wants to be married, and then that changing the trajectory of the relationship. Even if she's not ready right at that moment, and her thinking like, oh, do I really want to be married? So, a lot of men, they just feel too scared to ask, and so maybe it would be best for a woman in that scenario to, pose the question, and the guys say, oh, well, yeah, we could do that, and so yeah, I think it just depends on the couple. If you're dating a guy and he's not the kind to be afraid to ask for what he wants and to make his desires known. But if you feel like, okay, well, it's been a certain amount of time and I feel like I have to propose, well, that's a bad sign because you feel like you're already dealing with a guy who's comfortable asking for what he wants. And if he's not asking for marriage, then that's a red flag. But if you're dealing with a guy who you already know is, more quiet and, timid and meek, then you might be like, hey, let's get married, or you want to get married? Just kind of say in a casual way, and then he might be like, oh, well, yeah, I actually do. And so maybe that'll just help him kind of move the ball along. So I think it just depends.
Callie Bear, what are your thoughts on Sister Just Hilarious' comments?
I can't say that I haven't done any approaching many moons ago. I have. I don't necessarily think there's anything wrong with it in and of itself. It is all about the approach. Like as a woman, I don't know if I would come off as strong, like, hey, let me buy you a drink in the classic, in the classic man lines per se. I'd probably come up with my own jokes. I tend to use humor to crack the ice and everything. So to strike up a casual conversation or anything, crack a couple of jokes, and then maybe ask for the number like how I used to do in high school at the mall. It's
Mhm.
I mean, I don't think it's necessarily as much rocket science as it is just, talking to people that you just happen to be attracted to and going from there, testing the waters.
Mm. Blooming Ebony.
I think it works for some women. I don't think people are gonna like me saying this. I do think that women that are more, I guess, dominant in that sense, that approach men in that way, typically attract a certain type of man. He's just maybe a little bit more passive, whereas women that don't let men kind of approach them or find different ways. Like I wasn't the type to approach, so I went to online dating. That's how I let men know that I was available and was interested in them. And then they would message me, and that was kind of how things were initiated. Just to take away all the Me Too nonsense, right? Take that pressure off of men. But I think it works for some women, and I think women should try it more if they're comfortable with it. I do think that there is a feminine way to do it. I don't know if I would necessarily ask a man for a drink, but there are women that are a little bit more dominant, and that's just what they like. So I don't have any issues with it if it works for her, but I'm assuming she might still be single. So maybe it's not working in the way that she hopes, but I don't think it's going to hurt a woman if she does step out of her comfort zone and does tell a man that she is attracted and she is available in a way that's appropriate.
Anissa, I know you approached Trey, so
No such thing.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. So what are your thoughts on Jess? She says she's a lioness. She's gonna, if she attracted, she's gonna go get him.
Well, I'm old school, kind of old fashioned in that respect. I prefer the man to take the lead in that. I to know that he's interested in you, he wants to get to know you, and then you respond in a feminine manner. That's my approach. That's what I prefer. However, if this is a new day and a new age, so you have women that are a lot more aggressive in that way. I think that that's an aggressive and definitely a masculine mindset that she has. I think that it can be done just, a little more feminine, the smile or, the look or the compliment, things of that nature. But, she describes herself as a lioness. So, that just tells me that she's probably just a little bit more aggressive in that area. For some women, it may work. I don't know if that. I don't know the numbers, but I don't know if I think men may may be flattered by it, but I don't know how men really feel about a woman being that aggressive. I think a certain type of man may be taken aback by it. And the men that probably like it might be a little more passive, if that's the type of man that you want. I've never felt that you needed to push a man or coax a man into making a move. If somebody wants you and they're interested in you, men know exactly what to do.
Okay, Mother, welcome to the show tonight, my sister. What are your thoughts about Just Hilarious saying that if she's going to be aggressive, she's going to get him? What are your thoughts? You muted. You muted.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get my daughter. Okay. Okay. Was that the Cam Newton interview?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, I watched that whole interview. And she talked about like Country Wayne and that whole ordeal. And I actually like Cam Newton's response to her. Just a little bit away from your question, but I don't know. I guess I had a little more context because I looked at that whole interview. This is just I'm more traditional. And so to me, it was just the way she came off. I don't think it's anything wrong with a woman approaching a man that she's interested in or even pursuing him. We have a mutual, I got a sister in Dallas that she kind of went after her husband and he picked it up from there, but she was the one like kind of slid into DMs first. And they've been married like 8-9 years. So I don't think it's anything wrong with that, but it was the way that she was saying it that just came off real masculine. Like she basically made it sound like if she see a dude that she like, hey, let me buy you a drink. And I don't know. I mean, some dudes might, they might find that attractive, or as like an assertive trait. But I think there's a lot of dudes that would kind of be off-putting because it does come off to me very, like masculine. And I think that's why, as she was describing the whole thing, with Country Wayne, it makes me wonder, like, okay, well, is this the way you came at him? And so is that, kind of why that dynamic, it was a lot of factors involved in that. But as she was describing, like kind of her approach, that made me wonder, is that maybe why, like she's not really having successful relationships? And again, not to say that that's the reason, but it just sounded like her approach seems very masculine. And like I said, I'm very traditional. I don't know if I would ever come around to to each his own. I see lots of beautiful proposal videos where the woman is proposing. I don't think it would ever be for me, but to each his own. So I'm sure some of those couples go on to live happy lives. I heard another panelist say to her parents that her mom proposed to her dad. So clearly, it's possible. Like I said, it's not for me, but I'm very big much on live and let live. And if that's working for you, then keep going with it. But in Jessie's case, it doesn't seem to be working for her.
And I'll say this because, you wouldn't go approach my brother with that. No way. My brother is, me and my brother, we don't, me and my brother, we don't take all that. So you had the right answer because I know he watching. Big brother, I know you watching back there.
He's very traditional too.
Absolutely, yeah. He ain't gonna allow you to come up to him and tell me, hey, come here. Come on now, my brother Tony. Shout out to Tony. Take heed. I'm gonna let you go last because I know you're gonna drop a bomb, a Hiroshima. Embrace the grace. What are your thoughts about? Are you embrace the grace? Are you going out saying, hey, come here, fella?
Absolutely. I'm a go-getter. I see something I'm like, I'm going for it. What's the worst that can happen? He can say no. See, a lot of times us women, we miss out on a lot of good things. We'll go for that job. We'll go for that promotion. We'll go for that college degree. But you're not going to go for that man that you want because if you don't, I will. And then a lot of men are not taught how to approach women. A lot of men are not taught how to deal with rejection. So if I see a gentleman across the bar and he's staring at me and I'm looking at him, what are we going to do? Look at each other all night? I'll break the ice. I won't go as far as proposing or anything, but I'll send you a signal. I'll tell the bartender, hey, find out what that gentleman is drinking and send him a drink. See, that's giving him a sign. And then if he accepts the drink, he's going to come over and talk to me and boom, we on. If he doesn't accept it, that's okay too, because for every no, there's going to be 3 yeses. So I feel that, there's 3 types of people that see things happen, people that let things happen, and people that make things happen. I'm in a relationship right now for almost 1.5 years. Why? Because I approached him first, but then he took it over after that. Sometimes men need that little sign. They don't have that confidence, or they're scared, or they just wasn't taught. They have no game. But I feel that sometimes we miss out on a lot of good men just because I get it. We want to be traditional. We want to be feminine. I get it. Trust me, I'm working on that. I'm from New York, half Italian, half Dominican. Sometimes it's hard to be feminine, but sometimes you got to go for yours, or you're going to miss out on something that could be great. I had a 5-year relationship with somebody because I approached them first. So it does work, trust me. And sometimes it doesn't work, but you got to at least try. Closed mouth don't get fed.
Embrace the grace. I hear that New Yorker in you. And, I want to pause for a second because I really want to hear you say, run me my money. Because because when you say run me my money, I'm gonna have to clip it because I like the way, your accent is. So can you just one time for me, just say, run me my money.
Absolutely. Run me my money.
I love it. Love it. Love it. Take heed to your message. What are your thoughts on Just Hilarious saying, hey, she's a go-getter. She's a lioness, right? I know you did a short on this and you talked about this. So what are your thoughts?
So this is just from, my own perspective. She is not a lioness. A lioness knows her place. She's not a lioness. She is a alpha female / masculine female. That's what she is. And I dislike Cam for even calling her a lioness, because I know true women that I rock with that are lionesses, and she's not one. Because all the nonsense, even what happened with her in Country Wayne, you feel me? How he did buy her that house that she lives in. And she tried to act like she didn't know that this brother was married at the time when she was messing with him. And even though him and his wife may not have been together, I'm quite sure Wayne, Country Wayne is the type of man that he gonna tell what's going on. You see how he run his mouth. He gonna tell what's going on. He's not one of those men that hide stuff. And I like Country Wayne, but we gonna call a spade a spade. He is a true Pookie and Rere, but he's trying to come into his kingdom. So he's getting better at it as he gets more experience with raising his children in his household. So he's getting better at it because he's one of those ones that he dropped babies everywhere. So, and that's not good as a man. You don't drop your seed everywhere. Your seed should be in one household. And I think we have to understand that as well as women too. Don't try to be baby number 3, number 4, number 5. We got to learn that too. But her whole demeanor just irks my nerve, because she sit up here and she says, oh, I'm a lioness. After Kim agrees, she shouldn't even say that. She should just say, okay, well, I don't know if that's me. Or she could have said something else, because a lioness knows her place. And when they had an interview about her and Wayne doing a show together, she was telling Wayne, oh no, I put asses in seats. You Bill Cosby. You know what I'm saying? I do she said, I'm more rougher than you, tougher than you. So I'm supposed to make 50-50 with you. Mind you, if it wasn't for and for Country Wayne, nobody would know her. This is the truth. But she wanted to go 50-50 with him in the processing of the money, and they together. So the money it's still gonna allocate to the house no matter what, because this brother bought you a house. You didn't have to pay anything in this house. But once she got to the level of she don't need him no more, she dismissed everything that he has done for her and try to act like she didn't know he was married and all this, try to act like she didn't know nothing. So she's a snake in the grass. I can't really rock with her. I can't rock with her, because a lot of things happen when we women act like we don't know. You understand? The world, if we act like we use our FBI sense and our CIA sense, a lot of foolishness would not happen. But we walk in blindly. You know what I'm saying? When we do stuff sometimes. I don't agree that she's a lioness. I agree that she is just a masculine female. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't approach a man. I'm not saying that. If you like a gentleman, right? What's the harm in just saying hello? How you doing? My name is so and so. There's no harm in that. I'm not gonna buy you no drink. I'm not gonna buy you no drink though. That sounds like something out of the movies. I'm not gonna do that. And that's not even showing you that I'm feminine. I'll just walk up to you, say, "How you doing, sweetie?" Just like that. Just like that. "How you doing, sweetie?" And he look at you, say, "Oh, so what you doing over here?" Then that gives him the understanding that you like him. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna buy you no drink, so now you think I'm some type of masculine female, because that breathes it right off you when you do that. So when you get this man, he gonna be like, "What the hell?" You know what I'm saying? So some men don't take it as it's good. Some men take it as, "Oh, she trying to be masculine. Why she buying me a drink?" Now, when you get into a relationship and y'all doing things together, then yeah, you know, it's nothing wrong with paying for the date. I don't believe there's nothing wrong in it. You get together, you do things together. But for your first initial meeting, it shouldn't be you buy him a drink, baby. You should go up to, "How you doing? My name is so and so," and touch him lightly on the hand. "My name is so and so." That's how you do. You know what I'm saying? But in the Western world, they teach us that this is okay to be masculine. That's just my take on it.
Yeah, and thank you for that. I see Trey is now here, so if y'all see Anissa smiling extra hard up there, uh, her boo is in the chat. So good to see you tonight, Trey. I see you down there. He said, "How many glasses of wine has Anissa had tonight?" Nissa, I guess he's setting you up for something greater later. But anyway, we'll get back to the show. Anybody have any comments about anything anybody said on the panel? Agree, disagree with anybody? Anybody have anything they want to say?
I
I
like
had something I wanted to.
Oh, go ahead.
Okay,
Go ahead.
good.
I can go after you.
Oh, okay. Just real quick, I want to broach what Embrace the Grace said about how you know, you're gonna miss out on a lot of good stuff if you don't at least kind of show some initiative. And so I think that that's good, and it also kind of tacks along to what Take Heed was saying, was that it's not about being a lioness or being aggressive, but you should send choosing signals. That's what I've heard some red pill creators call it, which are just letting the man know, like, you know, hey, I am interested. And so you don't have to go up and say, "Hey, let me buy you a drink," or "Hey, here's my number," and just like walk up and hand it to him. But you can just, you know, make it easier on him, because it is his kind of role to do the approaching. But, you know, it's a jungle out there, so he doesn't want to walk up to some woman and then get maced. Okay, so you can make it easier on him by, keep looking over at him. So he's like, "Oh, you know, maybe she's into me," or, give him a smile, give him a wave, something a little subtle, to where you're not, being overbearing and aggressive, because like some men in the comments were saying that is off-putting. But just to let him know, give him a sense of ease, because like, okay, this is a good target. I can go in and everything's gonna be fine. So I think that was good, that what y'all were saying.
Yeah. I just wanted to add one thing. Again, what Jenny said, I think it's very acceptable choosing signals. Like I said, you can smile, you can be flirty, the touch on the hand, or, "Oh, I love your suit. You're looking nice tonight," or whatever the situation may be. You just don't want to take it too far into being aggressive. I don't think we should be making it any easier for these men. Let these men be men. They know how to approach a woman. They know how to go after the woman they want. So you don't have to coax them and help them and, "Oh, maybe he doesn't know." Men know how to go after what they want. So stop making the excuses for them. Let these men be men and let them show up as men.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I think it's in a man's nature, like, to be a hunter, right? And to go after, what he actually wants. But I think it's in our nature too, femininity. If it was ever a man I was trying, I knew how to make myself seen. We just have that feminine energy, my perfume, all those things. I knew how to make him attracted to me or how to make him notice me without even saying one word to him. And like y'all said, or if I did need to say something to him, I might be like, oh, nice suit or a compliment or whatever. But I even like embrace, even what you were saying, embrace the grace. I even like your approach. To me, that was still more feminine and softer than what Just Hilarious was doing. Maybe telling the waiter or the bartender, like, hey, send him a drink over there. To me, that's still softer and a bit more feminine than approaching a dude and being like, hey, what you drinking? I think from, Just Hilarious, it was the whole feminine piece that was mentioned. I mean, that was missing. But for me, like I said, as women, we have that feminine energy and we know how to make a guy notice us. If it's somebody that we're interested in, we know the things to do to get him to notice us and to, like pretty much have him interested.
I believe in the small talk. Small talk is a good way to even fill out, because if you feeling him or not, but it's a good way to fill out whether he's kind of feeling you or if he's interested. Now, if he's just giving you dry one word answers, then to go ahead and keep it moving. um, I definitely used to operate what Embrace the Grace was saying, like, what's the worst that he could say? No. Okay, he said no. Now what? The world's not going to end. The sky's not falling, or anything like that. You'll live.
That feminine energy is very powerful. Some women, we don't understand how much power you bring in with that feminine energy. When you walk around, you have a beautiful outfit on, you smell good. That white diamond is flying everywhere. You know what I'm saying? That feminine energy makes a man run wild, honey. Not that masculine energy. They have a problem with that. Because when men meet masculine energy and masculine energy together, okay, they're masculine and now they meet masculine. This is friction. This is a problem. He think he coming for a battle. You understand? But when he meet that feminine energy and she smell good and she talks calmly and you know what I'm saying? That feminine energy makes a man run crazy. And only why I say that is because I have used this many times, even before when me and my husband was dating, and I still using it. And this thing gets me so much. But before, I didn't even know how strong feminine energy was because I wasn't raised that way. I didn't understand it. It's only until I met my husband that he let me rest in my femininity. So that's how I learned that me being soft, me being kind, me being loving, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, I always take care of myself. I always smell good, dress nice. But just the fact of me just laying in my femininity and being more affectionate towards my king, that breathes off so much. I get so much from him that I have never received from any man. So that femininity is powerful. We just don't know how to use it in the Western world because most of us have been groomed to act like men. That's why most of us are hard and they say, oh, we so aggressive and we're masculine and this and that. And that's where our men are like, nah, I can't rock with her. Maybe I could rock with her for a couple years or something. And then when I truly find my woman, then he disappears because you were not the one that he wanted. You got to learn how to rest in your femininity. That's the thing that we miss in our culture as well. That's just my take.
Yeah, same here. I always knew but like you said, you have to be with somebody or be with a man that makes you comfortable enough to rest in your femininity. So before my husband, and even with my husband, I'll be honest, the first couple of years of marriage, I wasn't resting in. I was young. I wasn't resting in no femininity. So I would go the other route. I knew I could clear out a room. But then one day it was like I realized, and talking with other married women and, them kind of giving me advice and all that kind of stuff. And I realized, like, dang, fool, you don't have to do all of that. Like you can be soft, you can, you're in a place where you feel protected, where I could be comfortable, right? Like resting in my femininity. And so it's kind of like, fool, you've been cutting up all this time, and you could have been getting way more than you was getting, and not doing, not acting all out of character the way that I was acting. Yeah, so once you like are able to tap into, but again, you made a really good point. You have to be in a space, whether that's a relationship or whatever, even a relationship with yourself, where you're comfortable enough to be able to rest, like in your femininity. And with the femininity, like you said, the self-care and kind of all those things, but a lot of it is confidence. I mean, sometimes even before I was married.
Let me stop this lie real quick though. Let me stop this lie. Hold on a second. My brother tamed that ass. Let's just start there, okay? My brother tamed that ass. But go ahead,
put all my business in the street.
But I want to chime in. I want to say this real quick. I'm not saying that you should because this man makes you rest. I'm saying my king made me rest in my femininity. A woman should be already feminine. She should be already feminine.
I think some of the problem is, though, sometimes women are in relationships where they're not made to feel comfortable resting in their femininity, right? And so I think what I've observed, sometimes that's the problem. And I think sometimes men want women, to be in their femininity, but are you making it a comfortable space for her to be able to rest in her femininity? Or are you cheating on her or doing the things where she now has to be, masculine? Are you making it a space where she's comfortable and protected and is able to rest in her femininity?
But I'm gonna share something with you. This is where I'm just a little pushback. If this man is cheating and he's not making you feel comfortable being in your femininity, baby, it's time for you to walk. You don't stay with a man that you can't trust. You don't stay with a man that's doing nonsense that you gotta be masculine. So no, don't do that. This is where a lot of the women in our culture get hurt. A lot of American women get hurt because we want to keep that man who is doing nonsense. That means, baby, you have ran into a Pookie and Rere. That's time for you to pack up your stuff. It's time for you to go.
Keep going.
Because your king, he's blocking the way for your king. When we meet men like this, he is blocking the way for your king. I remember when I met my husband, he said to me, when we were dating, he said to me, you wasn't supposed to be a baby mama. You were supposed to be a wife. And I looked at him and I said, what are you talking about? He said, yes. It's just that you were dealing so much with foolishness that you slipped up and you supposed to have been waiting for me. I always laugh at that when he say that. But we do that. We will go get some man, be with some man for 4 or 5 years, and this man was dogging you and this and that. And now you all masculine because you trying to hold yourself together. So now when you get in the next relationship, you immediately go in and take all that baggage from the other relationship and get ready to destroy this one. So when you know that a man ain't no good, baby, you feel it in your spirit when he ain't good. You feel it. Okay?
You gotta keep going.
Feel it, baby. That's time for you to go. You don't wait no 3-4 years until he get it right. He ain't gonna get it right. He been doing it long enough. It's time for you to go. So no, I'm not saying that, when she meets a man, she should rest in her femininity. No. I'm saying for me, I rested in mine. I'm saying a woman should be feminine from the beginning. Just like how Anissa said, a woman should be already in her femininity. This is our trait. But
to go to.
Because we let some men that were not worthy to swim in our honey pot, okay? We have become masculine because you taking on the traits of this man who was rocking you and you was falling from the chandelier. So no, you supposed to be in your femininity.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree. Well, that's why I said too, even with a relationship with yourself. So when I say relationships, like even with yourself, you got some women, I think I was speaking on a lot of what I see. And a lot of women are in relationships where they're not able to, where they don't feel comfortable resting in their femininity. And that's why they're not able to. But even with self, you have to, a lot of us grew up masculine. I know I did. I was not raised to have no femininity. So that's why I say, even in your relationship with yourself,
Hallelujah.
When I met and I finally got into a place, that's why Black man said that, where I could be honest with myself and accept it. When I met my husband, I was not feminine. I was very masculine. And I always praised, because he saw the femininity in me when I didn't even have it. Even despite, he saw me for who I really was when I was a whole different crazy person.
Miss.
And he still loved me and loved me through until I got to that place. And he made me feel comfortable and able to be able to rest in my femininity. And now 5 kids and 13 years later, we, still together at a good place. I've been resting in my femininity, for a long time now. But I always say, I knew he was for me, and he was my soulmate, because he was able to see past me and all of my craziness. And he saw the femininity in me, even when I didn't see it in myself. And because, like I said, I wasn't, and a lot of us, we weren't raised. I was raised to be very masculine. To be extremely masculine.
I love what you said, because this is my story, baby. I was a whole hurricane, war, storm, tornado for my king for the first 2 years of our marriage. And we've been married, it's about to be 16 years. And I was a whole desert storm for this man. I was a nightmare for this man. But this man came to battle, honey. He came to battle with swords and weapons all behind, with armor on, ready to take me down. And when he did, and
they squabbling out there now. Yeah.
So when I finally decided that I was going to follow this man, I was 2 years into my marriage. So baby, I understand what you say, but I'm just telling people that don't take as long as I did. You understand? Don't take as long as I did. Learn to understand that before you get married. Yeah. Because going through that whole process is a nightmare. And if you don't have the, because I call my husband King, if you don't have the right king to walk that walk with you, baby, you will get lost in the sauce, honey. With all this foolery that they have playing all out on social media. I thank God my king picked me, because Lord, I don't know what I would do right now. I'll kid you not.
Well, I think that should be the goal for the next generation.
Give me just a second, guys. Give me just a second. Now, earlier in the show, I knew that you guys were going to bring a lot of power and a lot of emphasis on what you were going to say. And you know that on Tuesdays, I have a co-host. And he saw that the power from you guys, and he said, "I'm almost done eating, brother, and I'll be there in a minute." And so, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I would like to just bring him up, because but before I do, I gotta play his, this is him. And because, women, if you're looking for a husband, this is your guy. But let me go ahead and play his intro, and then we'll bring him up. Here we go.
I can't help it that I'm custom made. I can't help it that I look good, smell good, can dance all night long. I can't help it.
We got lost in translation in the building tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, my brother and my co-host on Tuesdays in the building tonight. What's going on, my brother?
Good evening, Black men. I felt a good evening, ladies. So glad you guys could join
good
us
evening.
this evening. As always, it's a pleasure to see the ladies.
Go ahead.
Can I say something?
That's right.
Go ahead, baby. Go ahead.
Take heed. You are so refreshing, and I am so glad that I met you tonight. And you most of you ladies are absolutely right. I was raised, I was a daddy's girl, and he taught you don't need no man. You may want a man. I'm gonna teach you how to shoot a gun, how to fish, how to ride your bike, how to cook. I get it. Even when I did the work and worked on myself and the therapy, even my therapist said, okay, we're gonna work on being more graceful versus so gangster. That's why my name is Embrace the Grace, because I've had to embrace my grace. Sometimes it works for me, but the gentleman that I'm dating now has broke me down to the most feminine. Sometimes I can't even believe that I'm like, am I allowing this man? You know, it's like I would have never done this with it, but you're absolutely right. If the man stands on 10 toes in his masculinity and runs the show right and is a true queen, a true king, we will naturally, and I know it's a curse word for a lot of women out here, the submissiveness will naturally come out. And I am going through a spiritual journey and a transition that it is different. You're absolutely right. And the fact that you picked up on it, and Miss Mola too, I'm still a work in progress, because you can tell I tend to be masculine. I coach basketball for 19 years. I mean, I'm into sports. I'm into guns. I shoot pool. But you know, I still have to maintain. When he comes around, my whole energy changes. He shuts it down. You know, so you ladies are absolutely right. But I'm still gonna holler if I see something that I like, because I'm not gonna miss out, you know.
I'm laughing. I'm laughing right now because I'm gonna share something with you, right? And this is why I'm laughing. Because sometimes that alpha female, masculine female will come out of me, right? And my husband will pull his glasses down and look at me. And he'd be like, catch yourself. Catch yourself. You about to fall off the ledge. Catch yourself.
Mine would say, are you done?
Yeah,
are you done?
You see what I'm saying? So I have to pull back. And I'm gonna share something with you. I actually realized how more feminine I have become during our marriage, because the last week I cooked a big dinner, right? This is just a little tidbit. I cooked a big dinner. It was enough to last to the evening time. But the food got gone because we got 4 children and my husband and me as well. So the food got gone. So later in the evening, okay, my king was like, I'm hungry. He's laying on his lazy boy. He's like, I'm hungry. I'm like, and you ate. You ate, you ate a lot today. And he was like, yeah, but I'm hungry now. And I was like, so what you want to eat? He's like, I was expecting you to say that. I was like, yeah, what you want to eat? So he tell me. And I like, you serious? You want me to cook? He was like, yeah, I want you to cook. Now, mind you, I had cooked already, big dinner. I had to go back in the kitchen and cook again.
Hey, you got to nourish the kings.
Listen, I went in there and I cooked again, played my jazz music, had that kitchen smelling good. And when I was finished, he gonna sit at the table telling me, oh, the food is good. I like, baby, I know the food is good. That's how you know you resting in your femininity, when you go back to the kitchen and cook again.
Absolutely.
I've been in my, I mean, it has really paid off, like being in my femininity. And Black man knows this. My husband do 90% of the cooking in our house. We have 5 kids still at home with us, and my husband do 90% of the cooking. So I come home from work, the food be cooked, whole homemade meal. And all it is, like from resting in my femininity and just treating him, like a man, and like you said, like the king that he is. And now it's to the point he's made it where I feel comfortable, and feeling like a queen. Because it's those things like that to me. Like sometimes I have to travel for work, and when I come home from a trip, and he got a whole meal ready for me, sides, all that stuff, and all
That's
while
my brother. That's my brother.
do most of the laundry in the house.
Mm-hmm.
Those things for a number of years I did, but literally probably the last 5 to 7 years of our marriage, like my husband does a majority, of the things. And we've never had like gender roles, but he does majority of the things, like a lot of the cooking. Like I said, he does like all the laundry, helps a lot out with the kids. And it's like, wow. And I think like, oh, if I was still being masculine, it's no way that he would be doing all those things. So I really sit back sometime and think like, wow, if women really crack the code on that, and I tell all my friends, even my nieces, because I really want to train them up with this next generation. It's so much social media is out here making them feel like city girls is the way to go, and it's really not. And I tell them all the time, like, so I'm trying to train them so they already have the edge. And like you said, Taki, like they already feminine. They already rested in their femininity. So I'm really trying to train them because I'm like, that's the code. If a lot of women realize that, hey, that's the cheat code. we done already cracked the code. This is how you do it. I think it would be a lot of more women in successful relationships, right? And all of that,
Absolutely.
it's not even, the confidence too plays like a big part in that. So I try to instill, that in my nieces and also in my daughter, like to have that confidence piece there, really be able to rest in your femininity, because all of that plays a part. I know I've been out before looking like a whole homeless person, and men are still, because it's the confidence that they're attracted to. It's your aura. Femininity is all of those things. Self-care is a big component of it, but it's your confidence, it's your aura, it's all of those things. Just being able to bask in your femininity, that's what's attractive to men.
Well, I'm gonna say this real quick. In my house, we go by the natural order. In this house, in my husband kingdom, we go by the natural order. I always mess up when I say my house, but in our kingdom, okay, in my husband kingdom, we go by the natural order. So I'm the one, and we accept the gender roles. I'm the one who does everything inside the house. I'm the one that makes sure the house is calm and cool and collected for him. I'm the one who puts the plates on the table for the food. If my husband does come in the kitchen and cook, it will be because we're doing traditional dishes from Nigeria and I'm assisting him. But generally, I'm the one who handles everything in the house, and I still rest in my femininity, and I still know that I'm queen. And even though I work as well, I still make sure he has a hot plate on the stove waiting for him when he come home from work, even if I'm at work. So mine is a little different, but yeah, that just wanted to put that little tidbit in it.
I say ain't nothing better than having a man that likes to be on the grill, because you basically get summers off from cooking because he's gonna be outside on the grill every weekend. A whole bunch of meat. All you gotta do is fix the sides, and it's all good. But no, I think that just mutual respect and reciprocation goes a long way. Nobody wants to be in a house where you're necessarily battling each other for, trying to have the last word, or trying to be right. Put it like that. Um, and I think that's where a lot of the contention comes from, and I think that's where a lot of people miss out on trying to please the other partner, no matter what it is. So even if, I am the main one that, does the cleaning in the house, he won't mind helping out and doing some of the cleaning because he knows that I'm doing the best that I can. I'm putting forth my best effort, even if I, can't get to them all, or can't get to everything all in one day. He's more than willing to help out with that kind of stuff, or more than willing. Okay, you can go ahead and sit down. I'll go ahead and I got dinner tonight. That kind of stuff, where I'll put my own clothes away this time, things like that. A lot of just mutual respect and reciprocation can take you way further than trying to break it down into a complete science as to who's supposed to do what and when and why.
Yeah, you made a good point. You got to take ego out of it. You'll never have a successful relationship if either parties have ego. You have to take your ego completely out of it, out the picture.
Now, I will say this. I have another video for y'all because I'm finna rock the boat, and I know Lost in Translation came to. I think he already punctured the bottom of the boat when he came in. So I want to play this video for you guys, and I want you guys to tell me what you think, and then we're going to get to the meat of the conversation, embrace dysfunction, because I want you guys to hear the person in the last video we played tonight. I want you to hear this person who is renowned around the world. Everybody knows this person. And they said something to probably 20,000 women at one time. And I just felt like, damn, they done ruined another culture. All right, but I'm going to play this one first, and then we'll play the last one. Here we go.
I've been married for over 10 years. I have been sleeping with my husband's cousin.
Oh.
Well, we've known each other for a long time before I met my husband. And I got a kid by him.
Wow. So whose kid does your husband think it is?
His. He thinks it's his baby.
Oh, my God.
He don't know it's his cousin.
Wait a minute. So you have a child by your husband's cousin.
But your husband is
doesn't
raising
know
it as though it's his own.
Oh, my gosh.
Yep.
So what does the cousin think about all this? Is he wanting to like reveal anything? Do y'all feel like coming clean, or is this to the grave?
No, to the grave.
How close is he with his cousin?
Close enough.
And you intend to stay married though?
Yes.
Are you still sleeping with the cousin?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's how. Look, well, this is not gonna get any better. But if Maynard was here, Maynard would have lost his mind.
Maynard would have had a fit.
Take heed. I know you're on fire. I'm gonna let those charcoals heat up the grill because I know you're about to. Yeah. Callie Bev, I'm gonna let you go first on this one. What are your thoughts?
This is just a hot ball of mess. It's mess all the way around. And then she's still sleeping. Look, I don't know how much people's hearts can hold, how much weight they can hold, but that's a heavy one. That is too heavy for me to be trying to keep. You got to keep secrets, and it's just too much. I don't have enough brain capacity to be holding on to all of those secrets and doing all this sneaking and all that kind of stuff. It's not even worth it. How did she say how old the kid was?
The kid pretty old though.
Oh,
I think the kid's like middle age, probably 10, 11, maybe.
This is that mess.
Yeah, it is. Miss Jenny, what are your thoughts?
Well, this goes back into, my show that I was doing on Saturday nights and just the sanctity of marriage and the importance of it. And, things like this, we talk about it, and I've seen this clip all over. I've seen it on at least 4 other channels. And, all we can do is talk about it because we don't live in a serious society that, where the government is doing what it's supposed to do and protecting the innocent. And that husband, he's innocent. And this is just another reason why paternity tests should be mandatory for everybody at birth, and why, people who commit adultery should get capital punishment. Now, I know that sounds harsh, but, that's what the Bible says. And that would clear up a lot of this, because that man, he's living his life and he's just he's being subjected to this. People are laughing at him all over the country, and he has no idea, and he's being an embarrassment and a laughing stock, and it's not his fault, and he shouldn't be subjected to that. And so we should have a government that takes marriage seriously. And if we had a government that took marriage seriously, then we'd have a society that took it seriously. And we wouldn't have stories like this where we can even sit around and hear this kind of debauchery go on. And it's a disgrace. And, all we can do is kind of shake our head, but it's sick and twisted to do something like that to someone that you claim that you love.
And you know what I figured out though? I was listening. I know you guys probably know Jamal Bryant if you don't Google him. Jamal Bryant had something to say about women like this. He said,
"These hoes ain't loyal. You gotta find somebody."
So
he ain't never lied.
Yeah, my God. And so Blooming Ebony, if this were your cousin, your friend or your sister in this situation, what would you say to this woman?
Oh, I honestly can't answer that question. So I took a break from the manosphere so I can create my own delusional world where women like her didn't exist, because I just can't. I can't. If it was someone I knew, I'm telling everybody except for the kid. I'm telling the husband. I'm telling him how much they suck. I couldn't. Don't tell me, just leave me out of your business, because I'm going to tell, because I can't. That's awful, especially for the child. The child's 10 years old. The husband deserves back pay for whatever he's bought for that child, whatever he can't. It hurts my, it just hurts my heart. The adultery is awful, but then to lie to this man and tell him that this child is his and it's not. For the adultery, they could have just gone divorced. They could have just separated, right, and gone their own separate ways, and he could have recovered. But then to raise this child for 10 years or however old this child is, and then learn that it's not his. There's no amount of money that can heal his heart from that. Like it. So I honestly don't know what I would say. I do know I'm going to spill everything and tell them that they have to deal with it, because that's just awful. I'm not going to leave that on my heart. But women like that is why I took a break from the manosphere, because I couldn't keep watching clips where women were treating men that way. And I couldn't live in a world where I was thinking that all women were like this. And so I had to take femininity courses again, where I can be around women that were normal and healthy and nice. Like, just be nice to your husband. Like, goodness. And I'll never understand. I'll never understand. And one thing I'll never understand also, and this is a little bit more lighthearted, is, men, I feel like keeping one man pleased is hard enough. So for you to sit here and have to balance two, and it's his cousin, there's no way she's a good wife. So I'm shocked the husband's still with her, because there's no way you're able to balance that while being a bad word insert here, whatever word you can think of, because this is awful.
Again, I can't get over
These hoes ain't loyal. You gotta find somebody.
So let's. Ooh, Anissa. I mean, what? Come on, Anissa, just say something. I don't know even what to ask. This was ridiculous. Go ahead.
I think she's a disgusting person. And I think she should be utterly ashamed of herself. And then the audacity to call in on a show and talk about it and tell your story is just beyond to me. This is how people get hurt. I'm not an advocate for violence or anything of that nature, but this is how people get hurt.
Exactly.
Like this. And I just think it's awful. I have known a person like this. A person was a close friend of mine. They got married, married a good man that just gave them the world, actually. But she, didn't mess around and get pregnant or anything, but she was often unfaithful. And I just dropped her as a friend. I don't want that energy or that type of spirit or activity around me, especially when I'm believing for a good man. So I absolutely would have nothing to do with a woman that conducted herself that way, and I knew about it. She would be instantly out of my friend circle. So, and and it's sad because when she called in on the show, of course they wanted the juicy tidbits, but there was nobody there to correct her and say, yo, sis, you wrong for that.
And the bad thing is, they said, are you still sleeping with him? She said, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Mother.
And see, the thing too with women like that, if they're in your friend group, they will drag you in their lives. So now
that's why you have to
can't be
drop
bothered. You got to get rid of them. You can't.
Yep. Mother, what are your thoughts about the Lady and the Tramp?
You called it right on point. I mean, that's ridiculous. And for her to be, she just had a tone in her voice. It sounded like she was proud of it.
Yep.
She wasn't ashamed. She wasn't remorseful at all. And that's a different type of low down dirty B word. And that's what gives, a lot of, she puts a bad name. And unfortunately, there are women out there that is like that. That's a different type of, you could just hear her tone. You could hear her energy. You could hear everything. She was not remorseful. And that's why when they asked her, well, are you still sleeping with him? She said, hell yeah. Because she's proud of it. She did not seem remorseful at all. And like y'all said, unfortunately, and I don't think any of us are advocates for violence, but this is how some of those things end up happening. You have no remorse. She didn't, her whole tone. You could tell she was not remorseful at all. So I couldn't even imagine how her husband would feel if he were to hear that interview or if it were to ever come out, because she's not remorseful. She doesn't care. And it has to be something. It's something with the husband. Either he's supporting her financially. It's for some reason that she's wanting to stay married to him. but also still be sleeping with the cousin. So it's for something, and women like that, that's usually how they get down. It's for she's using the husband for some advantage of hers, right? But clearly she enjoys the relationship or the sex or whatever it is that she's getting from the cousin. Just very selfish. And I like that y'all brought up the accountability piece. I would never, if I had a friend like that, I'm gonna tell her one time, like, hey, this is unacceptable. You are out of control. Like, I'm gonna hold her accountable for what she's doing. And if it's continual, like, no, I don't want any part of that, because like y'all said, she's going to drag you into it. She'll be telling him, oh girl, oh, I'm out with my home girl tonight. Oh, I'm out with mother. We're going to go get drinks. And she really out with his cousin. And you don't want to be dragged into anything like that. We've had a couple cases here in Houston where the friends have been killed. Not the person that was committing these are innocent friends that have gotten killed, and the person that was committing the affair is still alive and going about their business. So you just have to be careful, we as women, about the company that we keep, and also make sure that we're holding our sisters and our friends that are in our friend circle accountable. And also, too, we got to remember, karma is a fat B word. You sitting up here aiding and abetting somebody and doing that to somebody else, and when it comes around and somebody is aiding and abetting your husband, just sit back and lay down and know you earned it. So we have to be careful about the things that we do, the situations, the scenarios we put ourselves in, and then also make sure that we're holding our friends, our sisters, women in our friend group. Don't be hyping them up and say, oh, girl, you doing it. Yo, you got him supporting you financially, because sometimes we'll get into that girl talk and be at, oh, how was the sex? And this, that, and the third. We got to make sure we don't fall into that trap and make sure that we standing on accountability and, moving in a way that we want to move in our marriage and that we want to be treated, because it's all the energy you put out will always come back to you. So we just got to make sure as women that we're doing our part to hold each other accountable too.
Get your pen and paper out. They preaching tonight. All right, so listen. Who did we have? Embrace the Great. Wife School. What's up, Sugarfoot?
First of all, let me welcome Wife School Podcast to the,
ain't got nothing to do with it. Ain't got nothing to do with this.
Had to elevate out the chat.
Right.
What's going on, baby?
I'm doing
Embrace
good.
the Grace. What are your thoughts on this this whoremonger that we just embraced?
It is absolutely disheartening, and it's indicative of the world that we're living in today. It's indicative of the fact that how God is so absent in this world. And I totally agree with Miss Guinea. There are not enough consequences for adultery. Back in the days, they used to stone both to death. But we're so far away from that mindset. The Bible, basic instructions for life, after life. And it's crazy. And then my dad used to always tell me who your friends are and I'll tell you who you are. I will not accept a chick in my circle that way, because like Miss Anissa said, this is where men go crazy, and the violence, and now you got everybody out. You playing with people's hearts and emotions and lives. That's why I'm an advocate for mandatory paternity tests, because men deserve to know. So you're going to take that to the grave, and you're going to make this man think that that's their child, and you're still going to continue with the foolery? No, it's just really sad. And then, Ms. Guinea, you said about the government. How can we trust the government if they've taken God out of everything? The only thing they keep God in is a dollar bill. In God we trust. They've taken God out of school. I couldn't pray with my kids before a game. It's like I said, we are lost in the sauce, and it's indicative of the world that we live in today. And it's very disheartening. We'll probably be talking about the video 2 years from now, how he went crazy and found out, and now the child, her, the cousin, and everybody got knocked off. And it's really sad, and it's disheartening.
Now take heed.
And I would tell.
Absolutely.
I'm telling.
Take heed before you hit the bomb and it goes off. Welcome, Wife School Podcast. Wife School Podcast, what is your comments on the video that we just watched?
She's a dirty whore.
Oh, wow.
I wish I could come across
Tell me how you
somebody
really
like
feel.
that.
Yeah, you just came in
I
hot.
would rip her a new one. You know what I'm saying? I would let her know that she's a daggone scallywag whore. She doesn't deserve a husband. She's damaging that child. And she's, you know what I'm saying? You know, like lying. Eventually, she's going to lie to the child, and she's lying to the man. So she's building up this big world of lies that she's going to have to account for. And she thinks that she's getting away and having her little fun now, but it's going to come back on her, and it's going to go blow back so much worse. And like was stated before by Embrace, there's like no consequence. We think that we are above anything. We think our actions are above anything. What is it? FOMO, fear of missing out. I got to get in on this. And the audacity for that outside cousin to even entertain the thought of coming into somebody else's bed. You know what I'm saying? So he's at fault too. He's a dirty scallywag whore man himself. He's a dog. And I really feel bad for the husband, because usually there was a post that men love more authentically than women, because they have to provide, they have to protect, they have to be willing to lay their life down for their family. And for a person to select you off the market, which you probably should have just been left there, now he has to come to terms with the fact, because it's going to come out. It's going to come out. He's going to notice that boy, like, wow, he got a mole that looks like my cousin. Oh, he kind of favors Leroy. You know, it's going to come out one day. And I feel sorry for the situation, but she's horrible. I feel that she was feeling guilty and having the nerve to call into a station that she had this on her chest. You know what I'm saying? So, but thank you for letting the world know that, you know, women, you know, aren't crap these days. And we really need to change that. We really need to be better. And before we even get into any relationships or entertain anybody, we need to get rid of those demons and all that trauma before we start trying to snatch up husbands and ruin their lives, ruin these children's lives.
Now, Wife School, thank you for that. Before we go to Take Heed, I just got a phone call from Denzel Washington. He heard what you said, Wife School, and he wanted me to play this little clip for how he feels about the young lady.
Bitch.
All right, so we're going to get over to Take Heed to the message. Take Heed, what are your thoughts about, and I know you're about to blow the roof off the house about this one because you don't play about marriage. So what are your thoughts? What would you say to this young lady?
Come on, Take Heed.
So when this video had went viral, I had did something on this video, and I was on fire with this young woman. Now I'm gonna share with you something. We not gonna act like this type of hoism, shout out to Kosha, did not exist back in grandma, great grandma, and mama time. We not gonna act like that didn't exist.
Come on.
Because great grandma had 12 children, only 5 of them looked like granddad. And the rest looked like Mr. Teller from down the street. We not gonna talk, we not gonna act like this didn't happen. But the only thing is that #shame, shout out to Mrs. She said, that this existed, shame existed. So the father, great-great-grandpa knew that this was going on. He knew, because the other 5, they don't look like the other 5. So he knew something was wrong. But because he didn't want the disgrace and he didn't want his family to get torn apart, he remained calm. But this is the part that I dislike, because when you marry someone, your body belongs to each other. You should not be passing out your body to everybody. Everybody is not supposed to be swimming in your honey pot. You're not supposed to be swinging from the chandelier if it's not your king. And this is the problem we got in our community, in the Western world, that because you marry, you under that umbrella that you don't have to get no paternity test. You understand? You don't have to, because every child you have is his and it's going to carry his name. Now, just like Trey was saying in the chat, that paternity test is who pays for the paternity test. He's right. Who's going to pay for a mandatory paternity test? But I'm going to share something with you. If the paternity test goes that he's the father should have to pay. And if the paternity test goes that it's the mama need to pay. And if the mama is on assistance, she need to get a little side job with the state, cleaning up something to pay that money back. Because it's not right that these babies go and don't know who their daddy is. And then she's sitting up here all on the show acting like this is funny. But when that man burned down the house, God forbid, burned down the house, now we want to call him crazy. But nobody talked about how this led up to him being crazy. Because how dare you bring me a baby? I done paid all this money on this baby, had a big baby shower, married you, heifer, okay? And now I've been raising this baby to 10 or 11 years old, and I find out this baby not mine. This make a man lose his mind when he think that this baby been his all the while. And she up there talking about, yeah, and I'm still schooling the cuz. And I'm going to share something with you. I hope you get something you can't get rid of.
Hey.
Yeah, I hope you get something you can't get rid of. I feel, listen. You have done nonsense. You have done nonsense. You don't know what this cousin is doing outside. You can't even trust this man, because if he can dirty his own blood like that, baby, you better run. You better run. That's why Anissa, I'm agreeing with you, baby. If I had a friend like this, baby, I'm telling her we no longer friends. I can't rock with you. Because you know what? You asleep with my husband.
Oh my God.
And then I got to go gangster on you and ass. Because I'm not going to let you just get away with sleeping with my husband. That don't make no sense. That's why I say we got to stop having women friends that's like this. Call them on their ish. They come tell you, oh, well, somebody was flirting with me at work today, and you hurry up and shut it down. You married, heifer. You married. I don't want to hear somebody flirting with you. Now, if you tell me your husband was flirting with you by the wash machine, then yeah, I'm going to listen. But if you telling me somebody was flirting with you by the copy machine, heifer, you better get out my face. I don't have time for that. But because we co-sign ish like this, oh, yeah, girl, that's right. That's the cousin. Go ahead, get it, girl. Do your thing. Because if your husband ain't giving it to you right, go ahead and get it from him. Now, look, you got a baby walking around here and ain't even his baby. But you know what's going to happen? Somehow that baby going to need some blood or something. That's how that's going to come out. Somehow that baby going to need some blood or something. And then all hell gonna break loose. She gonna have, I'm crying. I didn't know. That's what women do. I didn't know. All this nonsense. That's what they do on these paternity courses. I didn't know. And all the while you was up there swinging from a chandelier with another man. You would have known if you was only swinging from a chandelier with your husband. You would have known.
Exactly.
Hey, take heed. Let me ask you this real quick. I'm kind of scared of what your answer gonna be. If this was your cousin and you confronted her, and then the husband found out and broke up with her and put her out, and she knocked at your door and said, "Can I stay here for a few nights?" What would you say?
Oh man. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna slam the door in her face. You wanna know why? I'm gonna share with you why I'm gonna slam the door in her face.
Come on.
You won't fuck my husband. You won't fuck mine. I'm not saying my husband won't do anything with you, but I don't want you walking around with booty shorts on in my house. So I'm gonna shut my door. I'm gonna tell her, listen, you didn't handle your situation right. You're not gonna come here and destroy mine. So no, I don't agree with foolery like that.
Ebony from Players Club can't stay at your house. Take heed.
Baby, she gonna get ass. Baby. I was a demon back then.
Now, because I want Lost in Translation to help me break down the last video of the night, but I'm going to play this short one, and I just want to get everybody's response, all the ladies on the panel, and then we'll get to the last video. Here we go.
What's the freakiest thing you ever did in your life?
I the guy and his mom.
What? His stepmom.
No, his like birth mother, and she's like. Yeah.
How was that?
It was great. Once he looked at her and told her, "Yo, come do what you do best," it was downhill from there.
Wait, he told his mom, "Come do what you do best," and
come do what you do best. She started sucking his dick, and then at one point they looked at me, and he was like, "Come suck this dick," and I was like, "Why obliged?"
Sucked his dick too.
I just sucked his dick too. We both sucked his dick
Together.
together.
That is.
One big
They,
happy family.
Blooming Ebony says, and I'm reading her mind right now. She's like, this cannot be possible. This can.
I'm saying, I'm like, I need another year off. I'm gonna have to take another year from the manosphere to recover from this one live, black man. Why are you doing this to me? People like this should not. These people are not. They do not exist in my world. They do not exist in my world at all.
Anissa, what?
Black
What are
man,
your
let me
thoughts?
ask you a question. What
Go
corner
ahead.
of the Pornhub did you find this from, man?
Dude, this video went viral, and this lady did another interview, and she went into detail, and she said the guy and his mom that she was dating, she had no idea. And one day they were over having sex, and the mom walked in while they were in the middle of sex, and she's like, "Oh, slide over. I need to get me too."
Wow.
Yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
So it broke up a little bit for me again. So what all did she say?
She said that she had sex with a guy. His mom walked in during their interaction, and he said, "Mama, come do what you do best." And the mom participated in giving him fellatio along with his girlfriend.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so glad this
Did you
stuff
see
is
her
not in my
face?
algorithm.
Did you see her face? She was like, "Ugh."
Oh my God. Anissa, what are your thoughts, Anissa? Because I saw your face. You almost walked out the room. What's going on?
I have seen this video once before, and I just can't even describe how vile that is. That's just crazy. That's makes me want to throw up, actually.
Wife School Podcast, real quick. What is yours before we get to the last video?
I've seen this video before, and it lets you know the depravity and the indecency of the world that we live in. Like, we're totally lawless. We're lost. We don't have any morals, no governance. As Embrace said so many times, I believe in God. Like, that's why I believe faith and religion does serve some part, because aside from, relationships and knowing the natural order, you need to have a connection to a higher power that would keep these type of disgusting, immoral thoughts and emotions away from you. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, it's no surprise to me, but it is really disheartening to see that a mother would even think to do that. But I wouldn't put it past people in the given the state of the world. It's disgusting. I literally did want to throw up. And as Trey said in the comments, we need to turn the internet off. And we need some Jesus in our lives, for real.
Mother, what are your thoughts, real quick, before we get to the last video? What are you thinking about this video?
Yeah, it was disgusting. It was sickening. I have 4 boys. I couldn't even. It's just it was disgusting. It made me want to throw up. But I had to wonder, because we got a whole son husband culture out here. It did make me start thinking about, well, what really be going on behind closed doors? Because when it's to the point that you've made your son husband, now he's your emotional confidant, all of these things, we just never know if there. And I'm not saying that there is, but you making up all the other things that would be the component of a husband. There's a huge, of course, in marriage, a huge sexual component. And so it really made me start thinking, well, is there other stuff possibly going on behind closed doors?
Yeah, well, lost in translation. One night we did barbershop talk, on we do it every Friday, guys. If you want to tune in, but we did barbershop talk and we played a video of a mother who dressed her son for school. It's his first day of school, and she said, "See you later, baby," and they were videoing it, and she just reached over and kissed him so intimately. She kissed him like she was telling her husband to have a good day. And this kid looked like he was around 11 or 12. And I mean, kissed him like they were like he was about to go down. And I'm like, damn, like, you know, and even Just Hilarious, we saw her tonight talking about being masculine. Even her son, you remember some years back, he got drugged through the mud because her 7-year-old son, she was butt naked. He was sitting between her legs, butt naked with her. They both were naked. He on top of her, and just I'm like, damn, wait, the kid is 8 years old. What?
A man with his daughter, it would
have been over.
Controllable. Yeah, it was so appropriate. It was so inappropriate.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Embrace the Grace. What were your thoughts about the video?
Again, it just shows the kind of world that we're living in right now, how lost we are, how far away from God we are, and it's sad. I have a son, and I can't even imagine going to that level with my son. I mean, are we really that desperate? I'm lost for words. I really am. I've seen this video before, but I didn't want to touch it because things spiritually hurt me when I see things like this, because we're just so lost. And, you know, God wants all of us to make it. And it's sad to say that 1/3 of us, most of us are going to perish because of this mindset, how we're living, the world of today, how we're allowing social media, movies, entertainment, just consume us. And rather than picking up a Bible, getting close to God, we're doing things like this. And you know, I know a lot of you guys have just met me, but I'm always going to bring God into this situation because everything always gets better with God. We're flesh. We of the flesh. We're humans. We need a higher being to able to elevate ourselves. And some of us are going to go on that journey together, and some of us are going to get left behind. I can only worry about the ones that want to learn and want to listen. I can't, you know, worry myself who doesn't want to feel their lamplight and shine bright when that time comes. And if none of you guys don't realize it, we're more closer to that time than we've ever been right now, today, than we've ever have been. So all I can say is get close to God, because this is crazy, lost in translation and unfiltered. We're lost in the sauce, deep lost in the sauce.
Yep, and I did some my guy Trey in the chat sent me what this is called. It's actually a term for what this is, called the Jocasta complex. It says a psychological theory. The Jocasta complex is an incestual sexual desire of a mother towards her son. So there's a term for what you heard that lady say. That's crazy. Take heed to the message. Before we get to the last video of the night, can you just tell me what you're thinking?
So the whole video, it broke my heart, because I'm gonna share with you why. I got a son that's 29. I got one that is 13, and all I know is that I wash these boys up and change their diapers and wash their behind and send them on their way. That's all I know. That's all I know. That's what the mama's supposed to do. You wash these boys up when they small, change their diapers. You wash them up until they can wash up themselves, and you let them go. This is some nasty stuff. This is nonsense. Because the problem is that these women have put in their heart and mind that they could not capture the father, so they took the son and made the son their husband. And so now you thought that this makes sense for you to be giving your child head, your child that you brought into this world. This is nonsense. And yes, I agree with you, Embrace the Grace. I agree with you, baby. Because yes, we need God. We need him. We need him more than more than anything in this world. But people don't understand that part. See, the Holy Spirit will convict you. The Holy Spirit is that the Holy Spirit is designed to convict you when you're doing foolery, prevent you from doing nonsense. But people don't understand that part. They will call you holy thumpers and all this stuff. But the Holy Spirit is here to convict you when you do foolery. But here we go thinking that this makes sense. And this young girl who even participated in this, she's supposed to have enough nonsense to put on her damn clothes. I don't care how much hot or heated your BJJ is. You should have had enough nonsense to put on, enough sense to put on your clothes and get out of Dodge. Because that don't make no sense when you hear the mama talking about move over. What kind of nonsense? The mama, if she walked in the room by mistake, she's supposed to shut the door and go back out. What kind of nonsense is this? Then argue with the son later. Why are you screwing this woman in my house? Why you ain't take her to a room or something like that? Even though I don't condone that you should be sleeping with everybody. Okay, I don't condone that. But still, this is nasty and it don't make sense. But I know some black women or some other, any type of woman will get up here and talk about, well, you don't know the backstory. Hell, damn it. No, it doesn't mean I don't care if I don't know the backstory, damn it. This nasty. It's disgusting. And it's going to mess with this boy's mind when he start getting some clarity. Or even when he get connected to a brother who knows God. This going to mess with his mind. And mama, you the one who was giving him head. You're going to be the same one in that home that you can't get in touch with him when you about to be crossing over to the other side. He gonna be the same one that won't come to that home to see you because you traumatized this boy. That's what makes me so mad when we turn these boys into son husbands. Why you're behind and go out there and do the right thing and get a husband? I'm not saying you're supposed to go out there and find one, but make yourself to make yourself to even
readily available.
Right. Make yourself available and also talk to God and ask him to clean out everything that is not right within you for marriage. So that at least a brother will come. This is nonsense. This doesn't make sense to me. And I don't like when we condone foolery like this. It doesn't make sense. I don't know how she thought that made sense to tell that. And even if, like Trey said, oh, I would have took that to the grave. First of all, I would have not even stayed to even take it to the grave, baby. I would have put my damn clothes on and got the hell out of there. You wouldn't have had that in my mind. That's just my take on it.
All right.
You know, can I?
Yeah, go ahead.
What's worse, and I'm making assumptions here, but most likely this young man had to have been groomed to be comfortable with something like that. Mm-hmm. And what's super sad, what makes this situation even worse is that when it comes to men, because I'm making this assumption, but I honestly think it's probably true. When they're assaulted, it's not seen as an issue. They just kind of sweep it under the rug. And even with the last video, it's like no one thinks about the man and how awful it could be for him. Like, even if this man, if he wakes up one day and he's like, my mom has been abusing me my entire life. She's been grooming me my entire life. Think about how many people won't even think it's a big deal simply because he's a man. So even if he does wake up one day, how is he even going to deal with that trauma if people don't even think that men can go through that type of trauma? And then with the last video with the poor man that is raising a child that's his cousin's, think about when he goes to divorce his wife. If he's in a no-fault state, he could lose everything for a situation that he didn't even create nor know what was happening. Like, his entire life could be ruined. Depending on how long they've been married, she could take his retirement. She could take everything from him depending on how she's living off of him. And I'm assuming that if she's willing to sleep with his cousin and she's having this man raise him, I'm assuming that she knows that he's a good man and he's probably providing for her, which is what's making her want to stay with him instead of just leaving. But it's just awful. Like, just the fact that no matter which way, even if these men are seen as a victim, they still have to deal with all the consequences. It seems like no matter what, it's going to weigh on them and be heavy on them, and no one has any empathy or sympathy for them. Somehow someone will back up the woman, or I don't know. It's just awful.
And now I'm going to have a show on that one day, because as mother already knows this. My sister already knows, and I've said it several times on the platform. Sometimes young boys who were created to be sexual, they block that part out of their mind, the molestation part, or the grooming part out of their minds, because they feel like it's something okay, right? And even myself, being at 12, 13 years old, being with a 49-year-old woman, at the time I said, woohoo, but then, even my sister mother was like, no, that ain't right. No, you got to talk to somebody about that. Oh, no, and I never told my mom, because I know my mom would have cut her down 8 ways from Sunday. My mom would have, she'd be dead today. And so she is dead today. She died of ovarian cancer. However, go figure. But it happened. And I blocked it out of my mind. I thought I was having fun. I thought when I got in high school, I said, man, all this stuff this woman had taught me, boy, I'm finna go through this high school and I'm finna show out. And and that was just the mindset. And she grew me. I mean, very well.
You know what, Black man? It wasn't just her. It was a society as well, because the miseducation of Black men is probably has more to do with it, because they're always saying, go out and get as many women as you can, or else you're gonna be the man. You see what I'm saying? So not only did this woman let you down, the society in itself that said it's okay for men to do that let you down. It fostered that environment, you know what I'm saying, to make you feel like it was okay to do. You see what I'm saying? Everything that we hear on the radio, TV, music, you know what I'm saying? Those are the things that foster that creates the fertile ground for those type of things to take place. And for this particular situation, for this woman to take advantage of her son is just awful. You see what I'm saying? A lot of times women don't believe that men go through trauma. Every time you look up on TV, it's always a woman talking about her trauma, but they think that women cornered the market in trauma. Men don't talk about their trauma. They just bury it. It's just like you said, they bury it and they never talk about it, because it's not cool as a man, you know what I'm saying, to talk about what has happened to you. We were taught to overcome whatever it is that we had to go through. And most time women are not taught that. They're taught to just tell it. You know what I'm saying? I should speak out. Me too. There is no me too for men. You see what I'm saying? Nobody's coming for men. You know what I mean? And that's the sad part about it. And that's the part of the conversation that a lot of people don't want to talk about, And a lot of times we don't want to bear correction either. You know what I'm saying? Think about it, man. When those other two women were listening to that woman talking about, hey, you know what? I'm still sleeping with the cousin. What was the correction there? You see what I'm saying? That's the environment that we live in. You see what I'm saying? A lot of times, man, we want to do what's comfortable. Even in the Bible, the most devastating words in the Bible was, and Satan beguiled Eve, because he told us something that she wanted to hear. And we want to do it that way. Nobody wants to stand correction, man. And that's the problem. And that's the reason why we have the environment that we have now, because we would rather do what's easy than to do what's right, because what's right is hard sometimes. What's right is antiseptic, but what's right is going to cleanse you. What's right is going to keep you. What's right is going to make sure that you have a reputation in this world that's going to stand the test of time. You see what I'm saying? In Proverbs 31, he said, in his wife, his heart does safely trust. And when you see stuff like this, it makes it hard for men to trust women, especially when they bury stuff like this. A few weeks ago, we talked about this, about the Tyler Perry thing. And we talked about the Kurt Franklin thing. These gentlemen were actually in their 50s when they found out that the men who they were thinking that were their dads were not their dads. Them. Yeah, the men who abused them. And the killing part about it was the mothers were the ones who set the environment for them to be abused.
Horrible.
What kind of mess is that? The very person who was put on this earth, who was charged to love you unconditionally, throws you under the bus. That is a mind trip that I don't think most people can appreciate, you know what I'm saying, unless they've actually been in something like that. I don't think they do that. And there's a few things that I hear on these podcasts from time to time that makes me wonder, who you talking to? Ladies, who you listening to? And it always bothers me when I hear women say, I want to rest in my femininity. Well, in the beginning, God said it's not right for man to be alone. And he said, I'll send you a helper. Women, God did not call you to sit down. He called you to work. So the next time I hear you have these conversations, I want to hear that you worked in your femininity, how you crafted your femininity, how you're an expertise in your femininity, because that, my dears, will move the needle and not just sitting down somewhere. If God intended you to sit down, he'd have made you a flower. You understand what I'm saying? But he called you to something that's greater, which means a helper. That means you also get to share in the glory and the development of the world. And that's all I'm gonna say about that.
You know, the world is corrupt, and I'm gonna play the last video of the night. We'll look at that and we'll be out of here. The world's corrupted. I saw a video today. I didn't get a chance to put it on the show tonight, but we'll talk about it at a later date. There was this young man who was talking. He survived a gunshot, but how did he get shot? His mom remarried, had a stepfather. He said he was of age, 15, 16 years old at the time. His mom, he goes through the mail and takes it out for his mom. He saw his mom put a life insurance policy on him, the son, for $100,000. The stepdaddy starts beating up on the mama. Well, of course, the 15-year-old gonna run in and say, hey, get your hand off my mama. The stepdaddy turns around after the 15-year-old hit him and shoots him in the chest. Once he shoots him in the chest, he said he's sitting watching while he's bleeding out. His mom saying, leave, 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 disappear, and give him the keys to the car to leave. Well, he said his girlfriend was over there. His girlfriend tried to help him, tried to put something to stop the blood, and the mama beat the girlfriend up and say, no, let him die. We need the money. This is, the young man cried like a baby on this interview. He said, I cannot believe my mama set me up for insurance grab. She literally thought I was going to die for her to have that $100,000. She beat my girlfriend up for trying to assist me while I was bleeding out. This is the world we're living in. But with the last video for tonight, and then we'll be out of here. Everybody knows, I think today influence is the biggest thing that we deal with. And when you have people who have been prominent for 30, 40 years in the game, especially in the church, Jesus Christ, they can pretty much say anything and people will just go along with it. I want to play this and we'll react to this and then we'll be out of here, guys. Again, thank you guys for being here. If you just came in, hit the like button, subscribe button, hit the share button if you're enjoying the content. Also at the bottom of the screen, you see the Black Men Unfiltered Cash App. If you want to give and donate to the channel, you could do that as well. And also everybody on the panel who has a channel, please subscribe to them as well. Mods, you could put their information in the chat. All right, here we go.
So you want to put your foot on my ride, don't you? Yes.
Well, that took an interesting turn.
Usually, you should never give me a mic.
No, I should always
I'm never going to color inside the lines. I had to do that too long and do what people say do. And go where people said go. And say what people said say. Because it's unorthodox to act like this in church. It's unorthodox for you to cuss 1 minute and say Jesus in the next. But you better leave these young people alone and let them get it however they can get it. I just want them saved. I just want them saved. Don't talk about what they got on. Don't talk about what they say. You walk in front of them. I used to tell my girls, walk like mommy. And they would come behind me with their little bobby socks and just swinging their little hips. But let me tell you something. We have a responsibility. We have a responsibility to these young women in this room. We gotta, tell me. Go ahead. Come on. She needs to be over here with me. We the mother's board. This is Children's Church. This is Children's Church. We the mother's board.
And listen up. The mother of mother is talking.
That's right. We gotta let these young people find their way, just like I did with my drunk, tied up self. Oh no, don't go. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh no, you didn't. Oh no, you didn't say. Oh no, you didn't say you was drunk. Oh my God. Let me tell you, tore up from the floor up, trying to sneak in the back door before my mother turned off the porch light.
Oh my God.
Leave these young people alone.
Folk. Nah.
Callie Bev, what do you think? This is the wife of TD Jakes and the daughter of TD Jakes, who are preachers who have been called by the Lord to preach the word. Callie Bev, what are your thoughts?
Okay, this is what my father told me.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you are grown, okay, it is still my job to guide you in the right direction. Even though you are grown and you can make your own decisions, it's my obligation to tell you when you are steering in the wrong direction. Even though my in-laws they've passed away, but he feels that it is his job to also help guide my husband when he feels that he is going in the wrong direction as well. He takes that upon himself because he doesn't have his parents with him. So I feel like just leaving them alone to their own devices is what we kind of have right now. And look where we are. You can let them I'm a firm believer in letting the younger ones make mistakes, but let them make mistakes with a safety net underneath there. You have to let them learn from their mistakes. Some people have to go ahead and bump their head in order to learn the lesson, but you also have to be there to provide wisdom, to provide guidance, and to, be that, like my friends call it, be that G check. Sometimes people need a good G check, and you can't be so willing, so hands off as to where you won't be able to do that. You know what I mean? And that's just my, initial thoughts on it. But nah, I can't get down with that.
Absolutely. Miss Jenny, what are your thoughts?
I have a lot of thoughts, but some are more relevant than others. But I don't know. I would kind of like to see a longer clip of that. I guess I'll have to do that on my own time because I don't know what she meant by leave these young people alone. Like what she was saying by that. But Prototype Dad, he hit the nail on the head, and he said this is why men need to leave. And I didn't even realize that was TD Jake's wife and his daughter.
Yep.
But I'm not impressed by TD Jakes. I don't consider him a legitimate pastor. And so his wife and his daughter going up there and masquerading as pastors as well also does not impress me. And so it doesn't surprise me that, she said something about don't let it surprise you if I'm cussing 1 minute and then saying the name of Jesus another minute. Where's that in the Bible? And so what I saw up there, that was a lot of confusion in and of itself. And it's not biblical, what was going on up there. All that hooping and hollering in church about, you need to do this for the young people. And it's like, church is not a free-for-all. There's a certain structure and a certain order and decorum that needs to be had in church. And, that wasn't it. And so there's that. But just, overall, I wanted to give my 2 cents in about the last video that we were watching, about the woman that, got the shock of her life when the guy's mom came in. And so, a lot of people today, they think that the Bible's not relevant, and they think that, The Bible's outdated and it doesn't have anything for us today because that was written 2,000 years ago. But everything in the Bible is still applicable because it's about people, and people don't change, even if times do. And so in Leviticus chapter 18, verses 6 and 7, it says about what's going on even to this day. It says, "None of you shall approach to any that is of near kin to you, to uncover their nakedness. I am the Lord. The nakedness of thy father or the nakedness of thy mother shalt thou not uncover. She is thy mother. Thou shalt not uncover her nakedness." And so why would God say that? Oh yeah, that's because people, however many people, do it, you might be surprised who does it, and you know them and you call them a friend. These are things that people do. These are desires that are in people's hearts. And the Bible says that the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? And so, this is still spot on today. This is in Leviticus, which, is a highly ridiculed book of the Bible in the Old Testament. But that is just as applicable today as it was to the children of Israel. And so, we would do ourselves a really big favor if we actually got back to the perfect and eternal word of God, like embrace the grace and take heed, were saying earlier.
And you know what? And the reason that a lot of people say, "Oh, well, why does it matter what T.D. Jakes' wife and his daughter said?" It's because if you go look at what they've done, they're selling out arenas, guys. They came here, American Airlines Center, sold out in Dallas. The Texas Ranger field here in Dallas sold out. Just with her and her mom, not TD, just the mom and the daughter. And they sold out Yankee Stadium. And so they're selling out arenas of 20,000 or more people, and people and women at this particular thing that you're watching. It was a pajama party for women. And so all the women came in their pajamas. It was 20,000 women there. Just think about that. And all of them standing up cheering. If you go watch the whole episode of it, the whole thing of it, those women were standing up cheering and clapping and laughing and pumping their fists. And they agree with everything that she was saying. And so she has a huge following after she went viral for taking her wig off while she was preaching. She said, sometimes you got to let God in. And she pulled her wig off. Well, my thing is this. If the wig is blocking God, then you should not even have it on. But that's neither here nor there. Because she also said something about a lot of people. She said this in October because it was Halloween. She said a lot of people should not go to the movie theater because when I get in the theater and I watch The Exorcist and that thing starts talking in those tongues, she said, I'm going to start talking back in tongues in the movie theater and empty the theater out and deliver people. Well, my Bible says when you speak in tongues, you must have an interpreter or it's considered lunacy. Right. It's considered crazy. Nobody can understand what you're saying. So a non-believer sees someone talking in tongues. They're not interested in finding out who God is because they're thinking lunacy, right? And so when she says things like that and she's selling out arenas, she's pushing the wrong agenda. She's taking out wigs, throwing the wigs, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ. So, I think she's one of those false preachers, prophets, whatever you want to call them.
Black man, we wrestle not with flesh and blood. Sometimes the devil will show up in the very package that you thought came to save you. And I keep trying to tell people this all the time. You can't do that. Sometimes the devil will show up as your best friend. Sometimes the devil will show up as your mama. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't understand that, man. So you got to make sure that you run whatever filter that you got through God. So that way you'll know him. Even in the Bible says, it says that Jesus' way is simplicity. So anytime you got all these complex foolishness going on, you got to jump through all these hoops. That's not of God. That's of the devil to confuse you. You see what I'm saying? And that's what's wrong with people. Are you familiar with the term the Hegelian dialectic? Well, basically what it is, basically what it is that you have a problem. I got the answer to the problem. Yeah. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get synthesis. You know what I'm saying? Antithesis plus synthesis equals synthesis. So basically what happens is these people are selling you your trauma and turning around and say, hey, look, I got the answer to your problems. You see what I'm saying? And they're walking people right down to hell, man. They doing it. And people don't even know.
Yeah. So y'all
go ahead, mother.
Sounds like a market, like she's trying to market to the young people. And so she's saying, and back to your thing about the video with the wig, all of that was to go viral. So it's like their new thing is to market to the millennials, to the young people. And to me, that's what I hear in that video, to make them feel like, oh, whatever lifestyle you leading, it's good with us. You don't have to be in compliance with the church. You can dress how you want to dress. You can do what you want to do. To me, it seemed like a marketing pitch to the young people. And it sounds like, for me, like that's their angle. And so everything that she was saying is to, appeal to the younger people. Wear what you want to wear. We not going to be on you like that. You can live how you want to live, and we still going to accept it. It's for me, that's what it feels like. So to your point, yeah, they selling out arenas. It's a marketing pitch. She doing these videos, throwing her wig and going viral. Their new target market, target audience, they've seen these numbers, they've seen these stats on the money that millennials have and the money that millennials are spending. And so now their target audience is millennials. They done got the baby boomers money. Their retirement money ain't as good as it used to be. They see where the money is now. And so now, to me, in my opinion, it looks like that's who they targeting. And so all of this whole agenda that they're pushing is to target to the millennials, to appeal to
you going out, mother.
The devil is busy. Your mic is messed up.
Yeah, but you can tell, like, it's this agenda to make them feel like, okay, you don't have to conform to nothing over here. I know the other churches telling you got to dress a certain way to come in church. When you come in, you ain't got to do all that over here. You can lead a club, you can have your thought gear, and you can come straight to our church. We good with it. It's like you can tell that they're really trying to appeal to them. So when I heard that whole thing, to me, it was like a marketing pitch, and she's trying to be relatable. That's why she's saying, oh, with my drunk self, and oh, I might cuss, and I might, that's marketing 101. I did sales for 10 years. All of that stuff she was doing was all sales tactics. It was all marketing. You try to be relatable. You try to appeal to them. So to me, when I saw that video, even when I saw the viral with the wig, I said, oh, okay, I see what they're doing. Like, they're trying to appeal to the younger crowd. Because that's, and for me, and I agree with what Miss Jenny said. To me, I don't see TD, and this is just my opinion, or that family as real, pastors, or people that really should be leading, a church. I feel like it's a lot of financial gain behind it. And so to me, everything that they do and every move is about a financial agenda. So when I started seeing, oh, they looking to going viral and all of these different things, I feel like it's an agenda, and that it's reasons behind every move that they make, and it's all like financial inspired. So me saying, I didn't take it as nothing but, okay, this is a continuation of the new agenda that they're on.
Yeah, they're you're absolutely correct. And even if you go to the Potter's House here in Dallas, and you want to prove the point that you just said, just come on to Dallas and go to the Potter's House the day that he preaches. And I want you to walk up to TD Jakes and try to shake his hands. You'll probably get your ass body slammed. Oh, that security don't play no games. You gonna get slapped. You probably gonna get choked out.
You're gonna get some hands laid on you, all right.
Yeah. If you walk up in there and think you finna just run up on TD Jakes and speak or ask for a handshake or hand clap, you best believe this is gonna happen.
Mom. Yeah, that's right. Call for your mama.
He definitely ain't put. You ain't walking up to TD. But anyway, Wife School Podcast. What are your thoughts, sweetheart?
This is the problem of the world now. This is why people don't want to, be in Christianity, because we have dropped the ball so much to appease people, to keep the seats full, to keep the money, the wallets fat, and it's not about that. The gospel is free. The word is free, and I mean, even Jesus didn't charge. He was just like, forgiving the sin. So he just moved from place to place, just giving the gift of salvation and love and compassion. We don't even do that. And everything is in the word. That's the problem. We're so busy trying to make up stories and all this and be relevant. Just focus on the word, because nobody has the answers. Nobody can understand or have understanding of how I should live or how I should conduct myself, because nobody's teaching. We're just saying, we're just, trying to make everybody feel good. No, it don't feel good when you have to chastise your children because they're going, to the left. You have to come with correction. It don't feel good, but they want to make people feel good these days, and everything is basically in the word. Like I can stay right here and teach on some things. And basically, the lady was talking about leave the kids alone, right? And let them do what they do. I mean, yeah, sometimes we slip up, whatever, but the word says flee from your youthful lust.
Train up your child in the way they should go when they're older.
But
Come on.
flee from that, because you know what? You might have a kid, or you're not protecting your sanctity. You're not protecting your body as a temple. You don't even see it as that. You know what I'm saying? So in those moments of your lust, you can be overcome, and there can be some things that you'll get yourself into that you can't get yourself out of. You know what I'm saying? And also, let's go to something else. In 2 Timothy 4:3-4, I know there may be some people that say, oh, she's a Bible thumper. All right, let's dump those Bibles tonight.
Better toss them green Bibles.
For the time will come, which is now, that they will not endure sound doctrine. So as much as we get on these panels and try to instruct people and tell them the right way and turn things around, they don't want to endure it. We don't want to hear that. We want the drama. We want the reality. We want the love and hip hop. I want the bag. You know what I'm saying? We don't want love. We don't want correction. You know what I'm saying? Make me feel good. And you'll have your own lust, and you'll raise up teachers. So you'll get people that are willing to sell out. You'll get people that are willing to make you feel good, and they'll tell you what you want to hear. And we know that never works out for anything. You know what I'm saying? You can market to me, sell me wolf tickets, you know what I'm saying, all day, and they'll make me feel good. Like you said, you're selling me the solution to a perceived problem instead of telling me the truth. You're not putting me in a better situation. You're not putting me on a better path. And that's what makes the church just seem of none effect. And the Bible says, like, you're doing all these things, and you say you love me, you honor me, but your heart is far from me. That's where the church is at. And so how can people follow after men of God? How can people say, oh, where are the men of God? Because where are you? Because y'all just acting just like the devil. You know what I'm saying? And it's disheartening, and and you're causing so many people to go astray, thinking that they're okay, thinking that their lukewarmness is good, and it's not. And so how can we show the power? How can we show the transformation when we don't even give the people the right tools to operate and live an empowered, a truly empowered life? You know what I'm saying? So therefore, we're going to continue to see men not respecting women, or women not respecting men. The house is out of order. Everything's out of order because nobody knows the right order. Nobody knows the divine order, how things are supposed to be. I mean, it lays it out pretty simple to me, whether you like it or not. That's fine.
Wife school. If I could just jump on your back here for a second. Don't fall to the ground too hard, because I want to add something to what you said. Because I think a lot of people believe in God, but a lot of people don't believe God. And so, and the word of God is what we follow. Now, none of us is perfect. The Bible says all of us have sinned and come short.
Yeah.
However, if you know that let me say this. I heard a pastor the other day that says a homosexual person walked up to him and said, "Can I be gay and a Christian?" He said, "Hold it." Well, he said, "Well, let me explain it to you." He said, "If you are having gay tendencies and you want to be with a man," he said, "in your lifestyle, and you refraining from that lifestyle, absolutely you can be a Christian because you're fighting against it." He said, "But if you're living the lifestyle, then no, because you know what the word said and you continue to go against it." Now, let me transfer this over to TD Jakes, his wife, and his daughter. TD Jakes just had a huge ceremony where he poured oil on his daughter's wig. Well, watch this. Well, come on now. She bowed down in front of him. He poured the oil on her head and gave the church to her and said, "You will carry this torch." Now, TD Jakes is a man of the Bible. He goes by the Bible. And this is what we talk about when we say we remixing the word of God, right? We're Jermaine Dupreeing the word of God, because it says here in 1 Timothy 2:12, it says, "I do not permit a woman to teach See, a lot of people don't want to read this. I don't permit a woman to teach or to assume authority over a man. She must be quiet. Then it goes to say, for Adam was formed first, then Eve. And Adam was not deceived. It was the woman who was deceived and became the sinner first. And so when you read,
okay, well,
go ahead.
Obviously you can see that, as you said, that there became a stipulation. You know what I'm saying? So before, she was walking in obedience, you know what I'm saying, right beside her husband. But when she became disobedient, then she became the weaker vessel. Then she had to sit down because she went to the left. All right.
Exactly.
So she listened to the voice of somebody that made her go against the commandment of God. But I would say that we should not have authority over the men. But if God has given me a gift to speak in a way that will help inspire, that will help build the kingdom, I think that that's permissible, because he said he's going to pour out his spirit on all flesh. That means men. That means women. So I don't have to be a pastor and able to deliver an effective message that will help you. That's why we're all up here. That's why Embrace does what she does. That's why Take Heed does what she does. And you guys appreciate them for what they do. Not
Absolutely.
that they usurp authority over you, but you do respect the words and the inspiration and the wisdom that comes out of their mouth that inspires change. And that's what it's about. So I say that women do have a place in the kingdom to operate. As we've seen, women in the Bible have done things and was used in the kingdom to bring about certain things. You know what I'm saying? Even use a prostitute, Rahab. So we cannot particularly say certain things, you know, that's God. God can do whatever he wants to do. Yes, I know we listen to the word, but if he's going to pour out his own flesh on all people, if he used a donkey, hey, why not use me to say, hey, brother, how are you doing today? I appreciate you, King. You are over. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think we should strain at a gnat so much in certain things, but definitely go back to the word, go back to the basics. And when we get that right, and when we take accountability in that, I think everything will fall in place the way God wants it to be.
All right. Let me get Embrace the Grace. What are your thoughts?
Okay. My thoughts is that we lead by example. Jesus led by example. And it's our responsibility as adults to be teachers, coaches, mentors, to teach the ones that don't know as much as we do. We're not perfect. I'm not here on this panel and holier than thou. I admit it to you guys that I am just tapping into my spiritual journey. But the fact remains is that the Bible is still there. Basic instruction before leaving earth. And it still works. It's still good. It still matters. So to see preachers and pastors, we do not hold people accountable and we don't shame enough. I hate to say it. I don't go to baby showers where there's no father there. I don't go to baby shit where it's just a baby mama. You know, because you're co-signing it to it. You're co-signing. No offense to anybody, but if you're gonna live a life and live the life and walk the life, you got to show the life. And it's like, if you go to a baby shower and there's no daddy there, no, you know, what are you doing? You're celebrating the fact that this woman is going to be a single mother. And no offense to the single moms. I became a single mom when my son was 11, but we sit the single moms in the front pew of the church with the 4 kids with three different baby daddies, and the married couples are in the back. We're going backwards in this thing. We've chased the men out of the church because we've been taught that men can run the things. The children belong to the women belong to the men, and the men belong to God. Man was made in the image of God. Like Lit said, we are helpmates. We are here to help the man. He cannot live alone. He cannot do it by himself. But if you talk to a young girl today and say submissive and cook, it's like cursing them out. And when I see things like this pastor saying it's okay, dress how you want, do what you want. No, it's not okay, because when they're meeting their maker and they're seeing their life story in front of them, they're going to see that they've been lied to. That lifestyle is not acceptable to God. Now I know that tattoos is a sin, and I had a goal to get 3 more tattoos. I can't get them anymore. He's forgiven me for the 2 that I have, but I can't continue to get them knowing that I know that it's a sin. Now I'm intentionally sinning versus not knowing. So to land it, we don't shame enough. We don't call people out enough. We allow them, excuse my language, to do the fuckery and be okay. And if we're okay with their foolery, then that means we're fools too. And it takes little steps, baby steps. Grace, you need to stop cursing. You're a lady. You know, you need to do this. Take heed. I don't really think that was a good idea. It's not fair. We have to help each other, and we have to teach them. Would you let your child touch a hot pot? You're just gonna let them do whatever. Touch that hot pot. You're gonna let a child cross the street without teaching him to look both ways? It's the same thing. We got to teach our children. We got to mentor. We got to coach to do better. And if you know better, you'll do better. I digress. My mic is muted.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I know Take Heed, you ready to go. Get it in. The Blooming Ebony, did you want to say anything first, or we'll get you Take Heed last, because I know you coming. But
yeah.
go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, good. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I have so many issues with this video, and I've talked about it before on different panels, but I think that some elders just aren't truly elders anymore. And I say that because I agree with what most everyone said. But I do think that a lot of our elders nowadays, in order for us to tell somebody else what they're doing wrong, you have to acknowledge that it's wrong. So in order for you to be like, okay, I did that when I was younger and it was wrong. In order for you to tell someone else that it was wrong, you have to reflect. And I think that so many elders don't want to do that reflection because they don't want to admit that they have shortcomings, that they were weak at one point, that it was wrong when they did it, right? It's wrong when you drink. It was wrong when you drank then. It's wrong when you drink now. But instead of you telling the young people, because you don't want to be seen as I'm a hypocrite if I do that. You're not. You're saving somebody so they don't repeat your mistakes and have to figure out, go the long way to a better life, right? With much better consequences. You would rather watch them suffer instead of looking in the mirror and saying, I did that, it was wrong. Let me save them from making the same mistakes. And I can't stand that. And I've seen it so many times. It's just absolutely awful. And I think another thing too, I think that some people think that they believe in God, but I think they just end up believing in a God, like this God that they make up in their head. And we see this in relationships as well, but the Lord gave us his law. He told us how to follow him. You don't follow him freely. And you see this in a lot of marriages and relationships as well, where women want to love their husbands the way that they want to love them instead of how their husbands need to be loved. Like, I want to respect you the way that I want to respect you instead of what you need, right? And we're seeing that in so many areas, whether it's in the church, whether it's in their households, whether like with their children. They cannot follow rules and they can't meet someone else's expectations when they're the ones that want to be involved with that person. It makes absolutely no sense. And I guess the last thing I'll say too is that I think with them in particular, those pastors and so many other pastors, I feel like probably throughout the world is I'll say most people, is they idolize something, right? But they don't idolize the Lord, right? So they have all of these idols, and these idols are leading them in so many different directions that are absolutely wrong. And you guys might disagree with this, but the way that I see it is that following the Lord doesn't make you famous. It's not going to make you popular. It's typically a very lonely road
It is.
living a biblical lifestyle.
Yep.
And so when you see these people and they're going viral and they're famous, they most likely idolize fame and money. And then the people that follow them idolize them. And it's just creating this cycle of awful, evil behavior that unfortunately I don't think we can it'll be many years before we can get away from it. It's probably impossible.
Now, I'm gonna say this before we move on to Anissa and then take heed. I just want to address the whole TD thing. TD fake, his daughter fake, his wife fake, his ministry is fake. It's simple. And let me tell you why. I'm just gonna put it out there. I don't care who support him. I don't care. Anytime you have Tyler Perry come to your church and lay hands on you and start speaking in a tongue nobody understands, and then you falling back and twerking on Tyler Perry, all this bush. Listen. It's fake. And when you're leading people, yes, we all have sinned and fallen short. But when you're leading people, and the Bible teaches you a word, just like Embrace the Grace said, when it teaches you, it's right there in black and white. Do not speak of any tongue without an interpreter. An interpreter should be able to interpret what you're saying in order for people to understand how God is speaking through you. Now, I love the Bible because sometimes the Bible get gangster, right? Because Jesus went and guess what? He turned over the tables because you weren't doing what you're supposed to do in the temple. But not only that, it says when a person is speaking in tongues, you have a right to tell them to hush, sit down, be quiet, right? So it is a lonely world out here, Blooming Ebony, when you're trying to follow God. But you have the opportunity, you have the right to say, hey, you know what? Lost in translation. What tongue are you speaking? Because I don't hear an interpreter. You need to be quiet and sit down. Right? The Bible that's what it's in there. Right? And so my thing is, even when it came to what my sister Wife School podcast said, a little pushback on what she said about, God pours onto everybody. He does, but he also gives roles. And he also says, hey, listen, men are to do this, women are to do this. Mary Magdalene, right? Mary Magdalene she went out and said, hey guys, she spoke the word of God. There was no leadership involved. And I'll go as far as to say this, Juanita Bynum is selling $1,400 tickets to spray people with a water gun with oil in it. And I just don't think that it was meant for women to pastor, meaning to lead a entire congregation.
Black man, let me help you out with that.
I'm not saying not to be in ministry, right? The women are in ministry. They
Okay,
can be in
that's
ministry.
right. So that's what we're saying. Women can be in ministry. So please make that clear. Please put that in context because
absolutely.
That's what needs to be said because I tell you, people will take things and run with it. Women can be in ministry. And if I'm under your administration, I'm helping you. Like I said, I'm building the kingdom too. Yes, I have my role in that. I should not usurp authority in that manner. But if God has given me the opportunity or bless me with prophecy and I can help, that should be, he gave some prophets, he gave some teachers, he gave some apostles. We cannot dismiss that.
And we cannot, and we got to have a Bible show one day, but I'm going to say,
let me help. Black man, hold on. Before you get started, let me clear this up because anytime we had this conversation in church, it needs to be cleared up. And I'm going to do it because that's my job. That's what Lost in Translation podcast means. The problem is that women aren't supposed to lead the church for one reason and one reason only. You can't hold men accountable because you don't have the ability to. And that's it. That's it. You don't have the ability because think about it. Most women don't even have the power to hold their sisters accountable, let alone grown men. You see what I'm saying? So that's the only reason why that men are to lead the church because they have the ability to hold everybody accountable. And that's it. That's the real reason why. But we sugarcoat this thing and we don't call it what it should be called. You see what I'm saying? So I'm going to make sure we clear this up. Yes, you can help. Yes, you can assist. But the only reason you can't lead is because you can't hold men accountable. And that's all I'm going to say about that.
And I'll say this too, and I'll move on. Even when we talk about names, when I hate when preachers say, and I'm telling you, I've almost got into fisticuffs. I'm serious. Because I think that it comes to a point that we have to start calling this stuff out. Right. When preachers say, I'm apostle Mason. No, you're not an apostle. There's no such thing as an apostle anymore. They're all gone. The Bible teaches that the apostles, there's no more apostles. The definition of an apostle, if you look at it from a religious and a biblical standpoint in biblical text, it shows you that an apostle is a person who witnessed the resurrection, who witnessed the death and resurrection of Christ, who was there, who witnessed it. How can you call yourself something that you didn't see? You weren't there. You're no longer what you calling yourself an apostle for? Just look up what it is. Look what it means. And so when you talk about bishop, apostle, I wear a collar. What's the difference from you wearing a collar and this guy over here preaching the word of God with no collar? What is a collar? What does it mean? Break it down. Some pastors are wearing collars and they don't even know what they mean. But again, I digress. We'll have a show about that.
Yeah, you're gonna have to have a show on that because it goes deeper than that in your feelings and emotion, which has to be brought and regulated with the word. You know what I'm saying? Just because we feel certain ways, sometimes it has to be regulated by the word.
Yeah, there's no such thing as apostles. Yeah, that's out of there.
We'll go deep.
Yeah, we will. Anissa?
Everybody had really great points on this subject. I just really quick. This is why you have to be very, very careful about who you listen to and who you follow. I don't care how big they are. I don't care how famous they are. I don't care how big the congregation is. She was just wrong on this topic in that video. Leaving the kids alone and just letting them do what they want to do and all of that is exactly why we are where we are today. It is our responsibility to teach and to guide and to correct and to be an example for the children. You can't just let them do whatever they want to do. And I don't know when this started, but I just remember years ago, where they felt like you needed to bring the young people in. You needed to change the music, and you needed to change this, and you needed to draw, a certain, whether it was the young kids or the men or something like that. But the word of God is the same. It doesn't change according to whether you're a kid or you believe this or that. The word of God is the same. So where did we get to the point where we got to change everything to accommodate, people? And that just shows you right there that when you're on the wrong path. All thing you got to do is preach the word and stand on it no matter what. It's gonna bring in, it's gonna draw, it's gonna attract, it's gonna get everybody that God has deemed for it to reach. You don't have to do all these theatrics and all that stuff that we're seeing today. And that's all that I see when I see TD Jakes and the daughter. And it's just a bunch of theatrics, to me. I stopped watching him years and years and years ago. I don't know if she believes that. Is that why they went through some of the things that they went through with their children? I think Sarah was a mother at 13, and I think they have a gay son, and they got a lot of stuff going on in that family. So I don't know if that letting the kids just do their own thing and do what they want to do. I don't know if that necessarily worked out so well for them, and if they should be teaching other people that that's what they should be doing. So I just think they're way off base with it. And be careful who you follow. Study and show yourself approved.
Everybody went, right? Everybody went on this
subject. Take heed. We waiting on take heed, man.
Take heed.
Come on now.
Take heed. Talk to us, please. Come on.
So I'm not gonna stay too long. I always tell people on my channel that I am that auntie that will kiss you and I will hug you and I will curse you out if you do food. I am that auntie. Yes, I believe in Yahweh. Yes, I believe that Jesus Christ died on the cross for my sins. Yes, I am a Christian. I believe wholeheartedly. Okay. I have seen God do wonders in my life. But I am that auntie that will not take your nonsense. I am that auntie that will put you in your place if you do foolery in front of me. So when she said, just let the kids watch you. Kids can watch you. They can watch you. But you got to talk to them, baby. You got to talk to them. See, when I was growing up, I was a teen mother. But I talk to my girls and I explain to them what could happen if they become a teen mother. And I thank God that He has broke those chains, that my girls are not teen mothers. Okay, you got to talk to them. You just don't let them put on a bobby socks and walk behind you like they know what they're doing. Because the problem is that you walking in front and they behind you, you can't see what the hell they doing. So this is why it's supposed to be in a 2-parent home. The king is supposed to be at the helm, and mama, you supposed to be in the back, and the children is in the middle, and you watch them as when they get out of line, you sway them back into the line. It's not that you let the children walk with the bobby socks like they know what they doing and watch mommy. No, because the problem is that mommy has done sin too. So mommy has to come and let these children know, listen, that nonsense you doing, baby, I had did that in 82. That nonsense you doing, I did that in 85. Don't try to come and tell me no foolery because I know what you do. You know what I'm saying? This is how we need to talk to our children. This is the problem I have with a lot of us older Christian women is that we don't tell these girls the truth. So they scared to come tell you, mama, somebody wanted to take me out and ask me to go back to their place and I had messed with them. See, this is the problem when you don't tell them, well, baby, this happened to me, but you shouldn't have went back to their place. You understand? You shouldn't have went back to their place. You ain't supposed to be in no man's house late in the midnight hour. If the man call you at 3 o'clock in the morning, your behind should not be there. Because you're not going to play checkers, baby. You going to spread your legs and swing from the chandelier. You're not going to do nothing else. You shouldn't be up in no boys' dorm room. I don't care if they had a party at the dorm room. You don't go upstairs. And this is the thing that we do not teach as Christian women. We want our children to think we holy all the while. And in the background, you was doing hoism all the while. Shout out to Kosha. Doing hoism all the while. So this is not right. So I didn't like what she said when she said that. It broke me because I was like, why are we telling the younger generation, just do what you want? That's what they doing. That's what they doing. That's why these kids out here rapping and they cursing, talking about they 9-year-old talking about he asleep with somebody. How you 9? You can't even get you can't do nothing, baby. Go sit down. Okay? You're 9, you're up here cursing, talking about you asleep with some woman, you out here slinging pharmacy products and can't even spell your name or count from 1 to 100. But we say, oh, just let the young people do what they want. That's the problem now, because the older ones ain't preaching. They're not talking to the younger ones. This is the problem now. And even when the younger ones don't want to listen, the older ones are still supposed to keep preaching. We still supposed to keep talking to them because it says in God's word in the Bible that the elder women are supposed to teach the young. So I'm not sitting up here saying I know the Bible hands down. I do not. God, no, I don't. I do some foolery and he knows it. My daughter told me, Mama, I don't know if you're going to make it into heaven. I don't know. Okay. Because you don't like the fast. I don't. Okay. And she told me one day God gonna tell, if you do make it to heaven, God gonna tell you gonna have to fast for 3 days before you enter the kingdom. And I fell out. She said, you're gonna fail, Mama, because you won't be doing it. And it's true. I ain't gonna sit up here and lie. I am not, I can't say I sparkle when the sun hit me, baby. I can't say I sparkle, but I shine a little bit. Okay. Take heed to the message. I'm done.
I know that's right.
Man, so thank you so much, guys. I man, you know what? I really appreciate you guys. I'm going to have a show called What the Bible Say, and we're going to do that because it's going to be an amazing time. Because when we were younger, we were told. When I was younger, my mother made me read that thing from front to back, back to front. We had to get in church and recite the books. Oh my God, our childhood was that, and I did want to say to my sister, White School Podcast, that we can have a great conversation. I'll be getting in touch with you pretty soon. But I did want to say this before we got out of here. I want everybody to go to their husbands, and I know take heed. You know, this time of night, the chandelier is going to be shaking over there at the residence. I know White School Podcast gonna be texting over there, and whoever she texting, you know what I'm saying? Embrace the grace, and they're gonna be graceful.
Texting myself.
And Miss Jenny about to go get any, and you know, mother, and with my brother over there might be another mother. Yeah, I know my brother ready right now.
You know,
he sleep.
He been asleep.
Oh, you already put him to sleep before the show. Amazing job, sis. I appreciate you. I have to call my brother tomorrow and tell him to get some staying power. But you know what? Married, Relentless, Satisfied, thank you so much for being here. Hope you liked and subscribed. And thank you for all your comments that you put in there, whether we agree or disagree. I would love to have you a part of that show as well if you would like to be. You could email me at blackmanunfiltered@gmail.com, and we could definitely hook up on the next show.
Won't you come?
And have it, yeah. Any man, yeah. Come on, why don't you come? But I wanted to say this, Wife School Podcast. When I mentioned the thing I said about the apostles, I had to bet you, like you said, you have to take the emotion out and back it up with scripture. And so I went to 1 Corinthians 9:1, and it says, "I am not free. I'm not an apostle, because I have not seen Jesus our Lord. Neither did I see the workmanship in the Lord as well." So that's what, when I said that people are no longer apostles, it means they give a definition in the Bible in 1 Corinthians 9:1, referring and reflecting that the apostles ended with the 12.
We'll talk.
Yes, I will talk. Anyway, we'll have that conversation. So thank you so much, Miss Jenny, for being here. Take heed to the message. Embrace the grace. My sister, mother in the building. Thank you so much, sweetheart, for being here. And the White School Podcast, the Blooming Ebony, and who else we missed? Oh, Anissa. Trey was calling her on the phone, so she didn't answer, so she had to get off. Trey, this domestic discipline. So thank you so much, Anissa, if you're still listening out there. My brother, and for my brother who get in so much trouble, Lost in Translation is with me tonight. But before you say something, y'all, please go subscribe to Wife School Podcast. Please come and support. Please go embrace the grace and subscribe, please. Right? Subscribe to these great content creators because they're doing the work. Right? Miss Jeannie comes over here. She said, "Hey, listen, I'm gonna do the show every last Saturday of the month on Black Man Unfiltered Network." Man, she's ready to rock. Right? Embrace the grace, man. Please go. I'm telling you. Take heed to the message every morning. She's consistent and she's doing the work, right? White School Podcast just had a great live on the man, our brother who just got destroyed in the courtroom. How can you be found guilty of assault, but 2 accounts got dropped? I don't understand it. But I don't understand it. However, she had a great show on that, a great live on that. So make sure you go and check out the White School Podcast. And last but not least, Lost in Translation. Make sure you subscribe to his channel as well. The brother is smooth as butter in the morning on your toast. So Lost in Translation, you got any last words before we get out of here? Oh, whoa.
Yeah,
White
man.
School started dancing when I said that. Wait a minute. Hold on. Whoa. I like love. We can put something together. I like love now. All right, go ahead, Austin.
Listen, ladies, I want to thank you for coming out tonight, for making tonight a special. Anytime we have ladies' night, it's always a pleasure.
Yeah.
Especially when your husbands allow us to borrow y'all for such a sweet moment as today. And we do appreciate your perspective. And I want to let you guys know, we really do thank you. And anything that you need, we're going to be here to support you, whatever it is. So I want to say thank you. I also want to say thank you to the people who came out tonight for hitting the like button, hit subscribe, and hitting share. In order for us to grow this channel, we want to make sure that we get the message out, because this is a message that needs to be heard. And Black Man is definitely putting in the work Monday through Monday, every day of the week. You know what I'm saying? You better say it. Somebody need to give him his flowers while he's still here. You know what I'm saying? So he putting in the work, and he's allowing other people to put in the work as well too. So I want to thank everybody for coming out. Here's the thing. The main purpose of these shows is to make sure you put your thinking cap on. We want you to be able to think for yourself. Don't take our word for it. You know what I'm saying? Because we just figuring this thing out too, just like y'all. But at the end of the day, if enough of us put our thinking caps on, we can pretty much find out exactly what's going on. I'm the first person to tell you, hey, I want you to think for yourself, because I got, I'm busy thinking for myself. I ain't got time to think for nobody else. So if I give you the tools, you know what I'm saying, I'm teaching you how to fish for yourself. You know what I'm saying? If I just give you something, then you just gonna eat for a day. But see, I want you to feast every day that you're alive. You know what I'm saying? So that's my whole thing. Ladies, thank you for coming out. Black man, thank you for having me this evening. And I just want to say, y'all be great every day, each and every day.
And go subscribe, or we're gonna virtually jump everybody. Y'all have a good night. We out.
Thank you.